What's up, everybody? Welcome to Jim Tells You for this Wednesday evening, hump day, as they call it in some places. I want to thank everybody who's here tonight. Yes, let's see. Miss Pat Hacker was the first one here tonight. She gets the prize. She gets the bonus sticker. Yes. What the F says, happy hump day. Great to see you. Snarf's here. What's up, Snarf? Great to see you, too. Pat says, Nick Shirley's new video is good stuff. I have it in the can, as they say. And let's see, anyone else here tonight? Rachel Boone's here. Hey, Jim. Hey, what's up, Rachel? Great to see you. What the F says, not a fan of Rumble. Chatting at Rumble is a B. Rumble has nothing. Iowa Backyard Cams is here. Good evening. Liked and listening. Thank you. Thank you. Catherine K's here. What's up, Catherine K? Great to see you. Hi, Jim and the Jimsomniacs. Always awesome to have you here. Audra's here. What's up, awesome? Audra. Awesome, Audra. Awesome, Audra. And then Lisa Day says, awesome. Yes. And then Seagull Gunner's here. What's up, man? Great to see you. Awesome. Yes, awesome. Awesome. And then Jay Marco's here. Hello. And well, my good friend Kevin is here. What's up, Kevin? Great to see you. And then KPT's here. Says, finally made it on time. Yes, you did. None of your business is here, too. What's up, none of your business? Oh, Rachel Boone says, I love Rumble. Trump makes an awesome superhero. Yes, he is. I promise I won't. I'll try not to fall asleep tonight. I'm getting an error. Yeah, there's been a lot of speculation. It's possible that there's some what do you want to call it? Shenanigans going on with the internet tonight. With maybe Iran or somebody started doing some kind of what is it, cyber attacks or something. That's the speculation out there. I don't know how true it is, if it's true or not. I know nothing. I know I'm like Jon Snow on the matter. I know nothing. I know nothing. So we'll see. We'll see what they say. All right. So delay is obvious, says YouTube is as-ho. Yes. So I want to thank everybody who's here tonight. Please remember, if you haven't already, hit the like button. And if you haven't subscribed, now is a great time to subscribe to the channel. I do these shows almost every night, pretty much every night. I try to do them every night around 9 o'clock, between 9 and 11 start time. I'm trying to make it closer to 9 every night. That way, whatever, it is what it is. Michelle's here too. What's up? Great to see you, Michelle. And delay is obvious also. Yeah, I don't know if I said that. I can't remember. So as always, there's a goal every night. You know, everyone who's a regular knows how the goal works. For every $100 in total that comes in across all platforms, that's in toto. Rumble rants, YouTube super chats, gifted memberships on Rumble or YouTube, on gifted memberships on Kick, Twitch, locals, coins, and memberships. Also, any type of donations that could be any donations that could be made off of PayPal or Cash App are also added in, along with coffee or super tips, which is new. Add it all together, and also if when we hit 100 in total, we add an extra hour to the show. For every 100 that comes in, we add an extra hour. So the show could be as long as you want it to be. It could be 2 hours, 4 hours, 3 hours, 6 hours, 5 hours, 10 hours, 6 hours, 7 hours, 8 hours, you name it. However many hours you want it to be. It's up to the fans, the audience, and how long you want the show to be, and how annoying you find my voice to be. Maybe you want to pay me to go away. I don't know. We shall see. And as an added bonus, when we hit $50 in total donations, we activate Bellavision for the evening, which there's Bella. And less than, of course, an individual donation of $25 or greater comes in, and then it's an automatic instant Bellavision. And, that could be a $25 super chat, a $25 Rumble Ramp, Cash App, PayPal, or it could be, 5 gifted memberships. Could bring you Bellavision for the evening. Yes. And, are you feeling better, Jim? I'm feeling a little bit better. I slept. I took like a 4-hour nap today. So I don't know if that's why I feel better. Is there a show going on? Yes, there's a show going on, Snarf. There is a show going on. I don't know, is something going on? Oh, Brian Ogden's here and says, howdy, just got done watching the new Nick Shirley video. That Minnesota stuff is crazy. Yeah. It's like a 50-minute video, the one I saw, so I don't know if we can play the whole thing, but I have it in 2 places saved. It's weird that I hit the like button once on my phone and once again on the TV, and they both count. Well, if it's the same account, Audra, it's not going to count as 2. It might actually, if you hit it on one and then hit on another, it might actually take it away. It's weird. YouTube is weird like that. We only pay for Bella. Okay. All right, cool. I guess. So let's get into the first. Someone asked a question I wanted to address. Where is it? Where did it go? Ever thought about following Robert? Well, Joe was going to follow Robert. I don't know Robert Gavea. I don't know him. I don't have an in with him to have him raid me. I would love to do that and be able to get raided from Robert Gavea. Holy crap, that would blow me up. But I don't have any way to contact him or get the raid or anything like that. So I don't know how to do that. But I could try to start earlier. I guess. Hey, Cesium Cat's here too. Great to see you, Cesium Cat. Awesome. Tina Peters' appeal was today. Seems like it went well. Well, that's good. We just met with a builder for our farm equipment. It's past time we get a proper builder. It's too cold, and my cedar fever is attacking me hard. Well, KBT, please get better. Please feel better. Get a cat for competition. Q-Ed Waz, what do you mean? I have a cat. It's just the cats are not like dogs. Cats do what they want to do. They always will. So let's get into the first story of the evening. Snarf, we are live. So, yes. Anyway, so let's get into the first story of the evening. So here we go. So it's official. The Minneapolis ICE agent rammed by Renee Good's vehicle suffered internal bleeding at his torso because he was indeed struck. This is the patriot the left is calling a murderer. This is the patriot the left claimed was never in any real danger. Lie, lie, lie.
Remember, I told you we were going to be watching Minneapolis, and we have some new information. Department of Homeland Security sources telling Fox News the ICE agent who was hit by Renee Nicole Good's car suffered internal bleeding in his torso. That is the same Immigration and Customs Enforcement agent who was seriously wounded last June when he was dragged by a car during attempted arrest. Yeah, a car rammed him and then dragged him. And by the way, there was street camera footage of some of that. The CBS local station, WCCO, covered that story last June extensively. We'll keep you posted on the situation as we get new information. Remember, I told you we were going to be watching Minneapolis.
Oh, so that's crazy. So he had internal injuries with internal bleeding. That's serious, man. That is serious. Lady Obama says that dogs are your friend, cats are kings and queens. Yeah, they think they are. They think they run the house. You pay. YouTube is criminal, just like the USA. Well, Snarf, I'm going to tell you, it's probably, I don't know if you can't hear me, but I've been hearing rumblings and different things posted around that there's massive, cyber attacks going on right now. So it could be Iran striking back. Who knows? I'm sorry. Darn cedar fever this year is the worst thing I've had in a while. Hope you get feeling better. Yeah, I don't really know what cedar fever is. I've heard of cabin fever. Is it the same thing? The left will never believe it. It was a refrigerator injury. Oh, yes. ID crisis. It was a refrigerator injury. Yeah, it was an injury like getting hit by William the Refrigerator Perry with internal bleeding. I'll tell you like that throwback. Yes. CBS News can confirm that the ICE agent who was forced to deploy lethal force against Renee Good suffered internal bleeding in the torso, directly contradicting the slanderous reports by high-ranking Democrats and mainstream outlets like the Communist News Network that the vehicle never made contact.
Change our plates every morning, just so you know. It'll be the same plate when you come talk to us later. That's fine. U.S. citizen, former fucking country. You want to come at us? You want to come at us? I say go get yourself some lunch, big boy. Go ahead.
Out of the car. Get out of the fucking car. Get out of the car.
Whoa! Wow. Wow. Wow, that's just insane. What's up? Nanny Goats here says, lurking. Is that like hay fever? The cedar fever? Cedar pollen makes you feel like you're sick for weeks on end and can cause a fever too. Wow. That sounds brutal. Like, I love the way cedar smells though, like cedar lined closets and stuff like that. And you put cedar planks in your drawers and stuff like that to make your clothes smell like cedar and stuff. I don't know. I prefer hay fever. Jim, just don't come to Austin, Texas in January. I'll send you some videos of the amount of pollen the cedar trees put out this time of year. Wow. Dr. Jacob Frey, DDS, dumb shit, told us it was from closing the fridge door. And he's a mayor, so it's true. It's not a thing here in California. Lousy driver. Yes, Q-Wide Waz, great to see you. How are you tonight, Pat Hacker? Someone has made a South Park video of this. I saw a South Park video, I saw a South Park video they made. It's where it's Cartman basically getting them to do it. So, doing good, Nanny. How about you? Crack down on all the bad drivers, definitely. It's a Central Texas thing. Drive, baby, drive. Yeah. Touching a cedar tree will make hands swell. That's how allergic I am. Oh my God! If you're that allergic, you need to move then. Definitely. Yeah. Diamond G, great to see you tonight. Investigate car insurance claims in Minnesota. Definitely. Good evening. Hey, Arizona Merce. What's up, Arizona Merce? That's a nurse from Arizona who's a man. He's awesome. Great to have you here. It's always nice to see you. Cedar is for repelling insects. No judgment here. Oh. I just thought always cedar-lined closets make it smell like good, you know? They put like cedar in your closet. No? I thought it was for the smell. Huh. I get horrible asthma when the greasewood is blooming. Is that what they call it now? Greasewood? Oh my God, what is going on? How did I not know this? That ICE agent should sue every media outlet in America for lying about him. One was murdered by a felon. The other tried to run over a cop. Guess which was just memorializing. ICE agents want you dead. ICE agent, this is from CBS News. ICE agent fatally shot Renee Good, the domestic terrorist, suffered internal bleeding in the torso following the incident, according to U.S. officials briefed on his medical condition. Wow. That's just nuts, man. Just nuts. Nuts. Cedar closets keep moths away. Oh, not for you. Okay. HEB has a tincture I forgot to get this year for the cedar fever, and I'm praying the price. Wow. I usually remember to take allergy meds in November to March. This year I totally forgot. The trees are killing us. It's the day of the triffids. ICE agent who fatally shot leftist activist domestic terrorist Renee Good as she tried to run him over suffered internal bleeding. All cedars or just a specific type of cedar? Yeah. I mean, isn't there like different type? Yeah, because I thought there's cedar trees, and aren't there like? Oh no, I'm thinking of cotton. Am I thinking of cottonwood? I don't know, man. I'm not a horticulturist. I'm not a horticulturist. The ICE agent who fatally shot the woman who tried to run him over during a lawful immigration operation in Minneapolis last week suffered internal bleeding to his torso. Oh, they are really juniper trees. Oh. What the F says, lots going on. It's understandable. Wish I could weigh the wine and make you feel better. Horticulture. That's what I said, horticulture. Renee Good was fatally shot after she used her vehicle as a weapon. She used it as a weapon to try to harm the ICE agents. President Trump and DHS chief Kristi Noem previously said the ICE agent was taken to a local hospital and treated. I just viewed the clip of the event which took place. It's a horrible, horrible thing to watch. The woman screaming was obviously a professional agitator, and the woman driving the car was very disorderly, obstructing, resisting, and then violently, willfully, and viciously ran over the ICE agent who seemed to have shot her in self-defense. Get her driving record. Yeah, get her driving record. What if she's out of history of running into shit? Maybe she's just a terrible woman driver. Cedar line is for insect repellent. Oh, I didn't know that. Cedar that puts out copious amounts of yellow pollen and the cold front blowing into Austin carry that stuff from northwest of Austin. Oh my God. I hope you feel better. Definitely. Yeah. Okay. We call those red cedar in my neck of the woods. Yeah. You make a lot of stuff out of red cedar, like you do like decks, like fences, cedar, hot tubs and stuff like that, and saunas, right? Did you hear the line, why did you lose real bullets from the wife? Yes. That's because they were told at all these places where they trained them to resist and fight, that they would be getting hit with rubber bullets and stuff like that, that they would be using rubber bullets. Based on the attached clip, it's hard to believe he's alive, but he's recovering in the hospital. The situation is being studied in its entirety, but the reason these incidents are happening is because radical left is threatening, assaulting, targeting our law enforcement officers and ICE agents on a daily basis. Yes, and it all starts at the top with the demon rat politicians in Washington and local levels who are telling these people to do this. Telling them to do this. Yeah. POV cell phone footage from the ICE agent involved was released last Friday. Shows Good's romantic partner talking trash to the ICE agent when he approached her wife's SUV. It's also being reported that they're not married, that she just changed her name. They didn't actually get married. They just changed her name, so we'll have to see. Yes, it's true. You're kidding. I didn't hear that. Yeah, there's that. That's being out there. Totally different species from incense cedar. One is juniperus. The incense cedar is cedrus. Oh, like Cedrus the Entertainer? So they're like the, you don't want them to live next door to you. That's awesome, yes. You want to come at us? You better get yourself a lunch, big boy. Get out of the effing car, the agent said. Let's try to open the door. Wow, look at Megyn Kelly. Now she's crying. What's she doing? Good accelerates her vehicle as her partner shouts, drive, baby, drive. Drive, 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 let it drive. Won't you let it drive? I know it's let it ride, but change the words a little bit. We'll make a song about it. The ICE agent shouted, whoa, as he fatally shot Good. Whoa, whoa there. You're a hoardy. Oh, cool. If you have different other information, submit it to DEMS. News Max says ICE agent who shot Renee Good suffered internal injuries. Wow, there's a nice boat. Let me pause this. ICE agent Jonathan Ross, who fatally shot 37-year-old Minneapolis resident last week as she tried to drive over him. Yes, I was going to say the same thing about the face, but people get mad. Richard says, I installed some Brazilian cedar trim on a guy's houseboat once. It was so toxic when sanding it, you had to wrap up like you were working with fiberglass. It would chemically burn you like creosote. Oh my God, really? Holy crap. I never realized it. Then again, I'm not a car painter. The left acts like this is all fantasy. That's what scares me. Eventually they're going to all become what they think we are. Yeah. Good lost her 2 other kids to the father due to Good's wife abusing them and burning them with cigarettes. Yes, putting cigarettes out on their hands. Yes. Yes. Oh, yeah. Oh, hey, Terry. Terry's here too. Hey, what's up, Terry? Great to see you. Good is not so good. Her remaining 6-year-old child's father died in 2023. Yeah, there's people who's also making comments that possibly there was some kind of suspicion there, suspicious circumstances. Did she really say that, or is that just people want to hear? It's been reported in multiple places that's what she said, and my former neighbor is a master woodworker. I absolutely love handmade wood furniture. Do you sell your pieces? Sorry for the chasing squirrels. No, it's fine. That's what the show is. You missed my previous good post. Oh, sorry. No, I got it right here. Good lost her. I said, I talk, what are you talking about? I can build almost anything. I love working with wood. Oh, okay. I would love to work with James Wood. He seems like a great actor. You had a visitor at your feet? Oh, shit. I didn't even see him. I want to be just like you when I'm grown up and retired. Well, I missed you saying that. Well, okay. Anyway, so Ross has experienced internal bleeding of the torso. Well, it probably would have to be, usually when you get internal bleeding, it's something like an organ, like your pancreas, your gallbladder, your kidneys, something like that, burst of vessel. And so that's where usually, something like that happens, or something like some kind of organ usually is damaged. That's serious. Ross was previously injured during a June arrest attempt when he was dragged by a vehicle driven by a person being detained. Yes, I love James Wood too. Yes, I do too. Hold on a second. I gotta close my door. Hello. I do have a thing too. I should do this. Edit avatar. Edit avatar. I have this one too. Doesn't this one look good? Look at that. Look at that. That's what the people tell me I look like. This is my superhero look. Yeah, so the incident occurred during an effort to take a foreign national with prior sex offense conviction into custody. Ross was dragged more than 100 yards before freeing himself. Wow, that's almost 300 feet. Where is your spleen? It's down here somewhere around your, that's one of them things that usually gets messed up in accidents like this. Internal bleeding is not detectable with pain the same way external bleeding is. That's what makes it dangerous. You can't tell there's anything that's damaged. Yeah, they usually can tell by like your blood count gets weird. Like I think it's either your red blood count gets real low or your white blood count gets high or something like that. Okay, he got hit right around the area his spleen looked like. Yeah, that's generally like the bumper would have been right at that area. It's like right there. You know, they say your torso, but I would say it's your midriff. My 132 dog had surgery yesterday to remove a tumor the size of a human liver. I try to take care of him and keep him calm, get him outside while he can't stand on his own. Oh, my prayers for your dog. Your blood pressure drops first, yes. 20 years ago. It's above the left kidney. Yes, the spleen is on the left, but it's prone to bleeding. But I refer you to Dr. Frey. It's below your sternum. 132-pound dog. Oh, wow. Well, that's a big one. Yeah, that's a big one. Was it like an Irish Wolfhound or something? I mean, I'm sure you probably told me. The resulting criminal case ended with a federal conviction at the jury in the U.S. District Court of St. Paul finding that Robert Carlos Munoz, 40, guilty of assault on a federal officer with a dangerous and deadly weapon. Huh. He's part horse. Okay, well, that's cool. A man in Saudi Arabia lived to 142. Prayers for your fur baby. Yes, poor pup, definitely. The shooting led to protests. Yeah, of course. And mini Somalia mayor Jacob Frey criticized Homeland Security's account of the incident. No charges have been filed. It's an Anatolian Shepherd. Oh, yeah, those are biggins. Those are biggins. Biggins. Biggins like Higgins. That's what they say. Yeah, the same thing from the New York Post. Ice agent who shot Renee Good suffered from internal bleeding, was hospitalized after she clipped him. So, I think we're good on this story. Maybe I don't know. Maybe we'll do this. You want to see? Maybe we'll do this. We'll see. We'll listen to this clown.
The city of Minneapolis has been in focus as protests break out.
Wait, did he just say the titty of Minneapolis? It sounded like he said the titty of Minneapolis. Let's go back and listen.
To the deadly ice-involved shooting last. The city of Minneapolis has been in focus as protests break out after the deadly ice-involved shooting last week. We've all seen this video of the moment it all played out. Let's watch.
I'm not mad at you. Show your face. I'm not mad at you. That's okay. We don't change our plates every morning, just so you know. It'll be the same plate when you come talk to us later. That's fine. U.S. citizen, former. You want to come at us? You want to come at us? I say go get yourself some lunch, big boy. Go ahead.
Out of the car.
Man, they're tough. Better watch out. Them lesbos are tough. They'll get you.
Let's bring in now Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey. Mr. Mayor, thank you for being.
This is an action of self-defense. Having seen the video of myself, I want to tell everybody directly, that is bull.
Oh, okay. So he made up his mind about it without even, investigation. Why do you need an investigation? Oh, all right. Well, now they're trotting out this crap. All right. Let's see here. Richard says, I heard they're investigating the wife as an accomplice. They had enrolled a 6-year-old in school that gave classes on how to fight ice. Yes, they're investigating the organization and all the people, the school, and everybody, because they would all be on the hook for a thing called felony murder, which means when there's an ongoing crime, a conspiracy for a crime or whatever, that if somebody dies as a result of that crime, everybody's on the hook. Everybody eats that sandwich. Everybody gets a big bite of that shit sandwich. So, but then you got rhinos, Richard, that are saying, oh, no, don't do that. No. She suffered enough. No. No. Because if it was you or me, they'd get us. So it's time to drop the hammer. I think it's the largest of the breed. I'm not sure what he might be mixed with. He did say city. I know. I don't know why I heard that. When is he up for re-election? Who? Frey? I think he just won. Frey just won re-election. He won by, because of Somalis. He had the support of the Somalis that are committing all the fraud. What do you know? No one polled me. Yeah. And wouldn't they also be on the hook for attempted murder? Well, not really. I don't think so. But the felony murder is like an automatic thing. It's like if anyone dies during the commission of this felony and there's a conspiracy to commit the felony, all the people involved in the conspiracy are also guilty of the felony murder. Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. No one polled anybody. This is a bunch of bull crap, and they always roll these things out. And it's a majority of voters say fatal ICE shooting not justified. So here's a point, and we're gonna watch this video real quick, just because why not, and see what he says. But then we're gonna look at this polling, and I'm gonna explain to you how this works.
Yeah, well, that's nothing new. I think the the legacy media, they're going to continue to proffer up a narrative that isn't correct at all. I think the dangerous part here is the danger that ICE officers face each and every day when they go to work. Look, it's one thing if you want to protest ICE and you want to do that through your First Amendment, you want to stand on the sidewalk and you want to yell at them and do all that. But when you cross the line, which this individual clearly did by using their car to block a nice operation, by not adhering to their commands, both of those are illegal. And then, of course, backing up her car and then lurching it forward as well. This isn't a game. And unfortunately, what it feels like to me over these last several years is that those that don't like ICE are being encouraged by their local leaders to go out and to forcibly protest and to do worse than that to ICE officers. And in that video, you see her partner kind of making fun of ICE, right? She thinks it's a game. This isn't a game. ICE is out there because they have targets. Normally, or almost exclusively, those are criminal, illegal aliens that they are targeting. These are dangerous individuals, and what they do each and every day is a dangerous job. It's not a game. So when these folks want to interfere with ICE operations, there are consequences to that. And when they want to use their vehicle to lurch and to go after an ICE official, there are consequences for that as well.
Wow, that's right. There's consequences for their actions. There's consequences. What is going on? What is going on? Oh. So it says a majority of American voters say the recent fatal shooting of a protester was not justified. Huh. Yeah. Let's see. HJ Remy, nice to see you. Thanks for being here. Absent-minded, great to see you too. If the DOJ is doing their job right now, they're following all the money, looking for that connection from fraud to political donations. Yes. Yes, look for anybody helping organize. Yes. If many Somalia wouldn't hide illegal criminals, they wouldn't need 2,000 ICE agents. Who is that talking? I'm not sure. I don't know. It was somebody on Newsmax. Facts X for doubt. Here in Toledo, Ohio, Lucas County Commissioner called ICE terrorists. Yeah, well, stop voting. Jim, all the stories you read all day, you've seen them lying about math. That's what I'm saying. They're lying about math. I'm going to show you why they're lying about it. Heard about some Native Americans being detained by ICE in Somalia. It turns out they belong to a group that tracks ICE. Yeah, this poll is BS. Yes, it is. Here's the thing. Those people, I saw the story, I was going to cover it, but then I was like, no, this is a nothing story. There were 3 homeless people that were living under a bridge or something, supposedly, that they're claiming are part of this tribe. They had no identification. When they were asked information, they refused to provide any information, so they were detained until they could figure out who they are. And what are they supposed to do? If you go up and ask somebody like, hey, are you an American citizen? And they go, no. What are you supposed to do? Go, okay, well, I guess, or whatever. You're just supposed to take their word for it. What the? Why is this doing this? All right, there's better. A majority of Americans found the recent shooting was unjust. A poll found that 82% of registered voters had seen the video, which shows an ICE agent fatally shooting the woman during the conversation. 53% of voters said the shooting was justified, while 35% what says it was not justified. Well, 35% said it was justified, and 12% were unsure. So, okay. So only 82% saw the video. And out of the 82%, you got 50. So you got 60, 70. So you have, all right, I want you to realize this. You got 53% said the shooting was not justified. 35% said it was justified. Well, that's already 88% of the people. So that's already 6% of people that didn't see the video. And another 12% said they were unsure. So if only 82% said they saw the video, so that means 18% of people shouldn't have a freaking opinion, should they? So there's problem one. Problem two is also that it doesn't matter if 51% of people or 53% of people said it's not justified, because in this system, you have to be guilty beyond all reasonable doubt. That's barely a preponderance of the evidence, which is not the standard for criminal cases. Views sharply diverge on partisan and gender lines. Republicans overwhelmingly said the shooting was justified, 77% to 10, while Democrats said it was not justified, 92% margin. Independents also opposed the shooting, 59 to 28. Men were split, with 42% saying the shooting was justified and 44% saying it was not, while women opposed the shooting. Go figure. So the emotional people said it was not justified. More than 8 in 10 American voters said they've seen the video. Oh. Yes. Yeah, we do not know the sample size. The video is shown, the questions asked, the report is all lie. That's what I'm saying. It is. It's all bullshit. Yeah, polls are problematic. Yeah. Lamps on lamp suns peace malls. I don't know what your name is. It's confusing me. I'm a leftist with common sense. We should converse ideas. Okay, no problem. Lamps on malls. All right. I have no problem with people on any political side as long as they can, accept like reality, and facts, and I don't even care, like I can talk to people that like, believe in like universal health care. I could be like, okay, I understand why you think that's a good idea. But then I go, do you really want the government being in charge? The government being in charge of healthcare? Do you really think? Look at all the great stuff they do everywhere else. Hey, Duckfat's here. What's up? I thought on guilt, but no one asked I thought on was guilty, but no one asked my opinion. Universal. No. What's that mean? Yeah, I don't know. I'm just saying. I'd like the boys are boys, girls are girls, abortion is bad, common sense stuff, but I believe in socialism. It'd be interesting to discuss debate with you. See, the problem is when you get into socialism, dude, I'm just going to break it. The government, you can't run socialism without force. You have to be authoritarian and force people. That's a problem. I thought OJ was guilty. No one asked me my opinion. Yeah. So more than 8 in 10 saw the video, but should the shooting have happened? Majority say the shot should not have been fired. Oh. And while a third believe the shooting was justified. See, so the way they worded that was even weird. Like, should it have happened? Was it legal? Those are two completely different things. The poll also found broad disapproval of ICE overall enforcement of immigration laws. Well, we all know that this poll is bullshit then because, polling shows that like 80, 75, 80% of Americans think that every illegal alien should get kicked out of the country. Everyone. All of them. All of them. So this is baloney. So Quinnipiacs. Oh, yes, they've been doing this poll. It's the same. Universal health care is a Clinton single-payer scheme or the UK's NHS. Yeah, you don't want the government in charge of things important like health care. You don't. I deleted that first post. Okay, sorry. We would be completely better off. Like the government should just, if anything, the government should be responsible for having like a fund to help cover like people's, like indigent people who can't afford it. Like, if you get like super cancer type of thing or something that's going to be super expensive where the government should come in and, help or something with the money, but not as far as the care or anything like that. That is what we have already. That's Obamacare and it failed. No, Obamacare was designed to fail, dude. That's the problem is Obamacare was designed to fail, to push it to something else. They knew it was unsustainable. They knew it was going to drive up costs. It was a doorway to get them to something worse, which was total takeover of healthcare. Why don't we go back to where you went to the doctor and paid the doctor $30 out of your pocket for the visit, and that was it? And you could get prescriptions for like dirt cheap. When did all these things start happening? You know what I mean? Like companies can only charge these insane prices for things because insurance companies will pay for it in some occasions. So they can make enough off charging it. That's why they provide them other things. I'll just say that, we need to go back to the lodge system, which was when, you belonged to a group and there was a lodge doctor. You could see the doctor and things were taken care of. And also, hospitals had all types of other things where if you were poor, the hospitals would help cover things, get rid of all the paperwork and all the crap. Yes, abolish insurance companies. I totally agree. Insurance is a scam. It's a racket. It is. Like, I just went to the doctor today and, they raised my copay out of pocket by 33%. So it went from $45 to $60 out of pocket for every doctor's visit. Now think about that. Every doctor's visit, I have to pay $60. My insurance is paying what? $20, and I'm paying $60 for a doctor's visit. That's what's going on. And I'm paying the insurance company insane amounts of money. Hey, what up? Yeah. Republicans strongly approve of ICE enforcement, 84%, while Democrats and independents largely disapprove. I don't believe the numbers. Like, the independents are probably people that are actually like Green Party people and are claiming they're independents. Approval of Homeland Security remains underwater as well. 36% of voters approve of job performance. Well, what do people approve Congress? Democrats in Congress, I think that's like 12 or 18%. Yes, Audra, he read my deleted post before too. Well, there's nothing. Wasn't the copay supposed to go down? Yeah, wasn't it? No. The thing is, though, if we ban crackdown insurance companies, GDP would go down because less money is being handed back and forth. It doesn't matter. And, we're supposed to say, well, it's all a scam. At some point, you have to do what's right and not worry about crap like that. That's my opinion. Health insurance should not be like what it is, like a sixth of our economy or a tenth, whatever it is. Like, I know health insurance overall, like everything involved in healthcare is like a big chunk of our insurance. That's because the insurance industry is hugely profitable and basically soaks people. Look what happened with car insurance. Once they mandated car insurance for everybody, look at how the price why is car insurance keep going up and up and up when everybody by law has to have it? That's insane. But that's why. Insurance was started by government intervention in the first place. Was an employment perk for executives, healthcare. Unions sued and forced governments to cover it all. I thought it had to do too with like companies offering it as a way to get around, like tax increases and stuff like that. When, back when tax rates were insane, they would do weird stuff and they started doing these other benefits that were not taxable benefits. That way it was like a way around taxation. 100% agree with the public is stupid and wouldn't be convinced that GDP going down hurts them. Well, eventually, if we don't fix things, the GDP is going to go to zero because we're going to go fucking bankrupt and there's going to be a major problem. And we're going to be like another depression. It's going to make the first depression look like child's play. Before the election, I thought 80% across the board wanted immigration under control. Yeah, it was huge numbers. Huge numbers. That is also true. Thank you. All right. The shooting comes amid heightened tensions in mini Somalia, where immigration enforcement actions have sparked protests and clashes between demonstrators and federal agents. See, now, there's one thing to be a demonstrator, but once you start to interfere or impede or in any way, try to prevent them from doing their job, enforcing the law, that's not a demonstrator. That's, a criminal, a rioter, whatever you want to call it, a felon. The city has a long history of strained relationships between law enforcement, dating back to when George Floyd died of an overdose, and it was a flashpoint in debate over immigration policy. Nationwide, ICE raids and enforcement operations have fueled protests in multiple cities, with critics accusing the agency of excessive force, excessive tactics, while supporters argue ICE is just enforcing federal law. Yeah, agitator, agent of chaos, yes. The Quinnipiac poll was conducted January 8th to the 12th from 1,133 U.S. registered voters. I wonder how many of those registered voters were illegal aliens. We know they just found in, Michigan, in one county, they found like over 700 registered illegal aliens. And then the Secretary of State said, we're not going to touch this. Yeah. It has a margin of error of 3.7%. Oh, so what do you know? So the margin of error actually makes it so that it's not a majority of people. If you take it the other way, it was 53, so it actually would be 49.3%. Huh. Why would I help? Then Fox Fox News, who I don't really like them. They're kind of crazy. It says voters sharply split among party lines over ICE agents' fatal shooting. Just 35% of surveyed voters think ICE shooting was justified. Well, and that's another thing I want to point out, that 35% means he doesn't get convicted. I mean, that's the bottom line. That's like, 35% saying that it was justified, and the opposite, that might win that possibly could win a civil lawsuit, maybe. Another ICE shooting is happening now. What? Where? Seriously? Is it on X? I mean, let me look. There's a lot of stuff going on today. Yeah. So this happened today. Have you gotten the news on how many Minnesota PD have quit and joined ICE? No. How many? A lot? There's reports of another ICE shooting in Minnesota. Yes. Okay. High margin of error is caused by small sample size. Yes. I'll look at it. So let's see. Tonight, the Uniparty rejected my amendment to defund the NED, the National Endowment for Democracy, which is basically a CIA front that tries to overthrow governments. So 81 Republicans, more like Republicans, rhino scum, voted with the demon rats to keep the rogue organization going that fuels global censorship and domestic propaganda. See how your representatives voted. Look at this. 81 scumbags voted with the demon rats to keep propagandizing us, to keep funding the overthrow of governments around the world under the guise of some kind of, if only someone had told you earlier. Did you tell me earlier? None of your business? Does anyone have a link about the RD quitting to go to ICE? No, I didn't. I didn't hear that. I mean, I know there was a bunch of stuff. People were doing it because it's more money. It's better, better money. So there's that. Here's a list of the Rhino globalist traders. 81 globalists voted no on Kane's claimers bill. Got Aderholt from Alabama, Alford from Missouri, Bacon from Nebraska. Bacon's a fucking Democrat. He always has been. Baird from Indiana, Baumgartner from Washington, Bentz from Oregon, Bice, Bilirakis from Florida. What? Buchanan from Florida. What? Calvert, California, Cary, Ohio, Bresnahan, Pennsylvania, Carter from Texas, Siscomani from Arizona, Cole from Oklahoma, Crawford from Arizona, of course, Mario Diaz-Balart. We need to get these people out of here. They're the only reason they say they're Republicans because they can't win. And they got Jimenez from Florida. Man, what is this? Harapathis from North Florida. What is going on here? Look at all these people. LaHood from Illinois, Lawler from New York, Meliatakis from New York, Texas. Oh, McCall. Oh, yeah, Brian Bass. Yeah, Moran from Texas. Moore, Nunn, Newhouse. What is wrong with these people? We need primaries. These people got to go. We need primaries. These people got to go. Wow. Does anyone have a link for the? Anyone have a link for the thing for the shooting that just happened? Aderholt. Why am I not surprised I didn't vote for him? They get kickbacks probably. So we propose you F right off. Governor Hochul says she wants to be the first in the nation to have a law that says 3D printers can't create guns during her State of the Union. That's right. So what are they voting on? They were voting on defunding the National Endowment for Democracy, NED, which is a CIA front slush fund money that they use to, propagandize us, create these fake stories. They were giving money to these news organizations, stuff like that. It's a, so here's Hochul. She thinks, that this is somehow they don't understand that this not only violates the Second Amendment, but also violates the First Amendment.
I'm proposing the first in the nation law requiring all 3D printers sold in the state of New York to include software that blocks the printer from creating a gun. It's just common sense.
No, it's not common sense, you fucking tyrant. You are a Nazi, Hochul. Whether or not you want to believe it or not, you are a Nazi, communist, tyrannical scum. Here's Nick Shirley's video. After my last video exposing $110 million in fraud, Tim Walz dropped his run for re-election, and multiple federal investigators were launched to stop fraud across the country. In 51-minute video, David and I exposed another $16 million in fraud as Minnesota welfare programs continue to operate fraudulently. That's ridiculous. How will that work? Well, they're just going to say, they're going to force people to put, software on there. Oh. If I can program a 3D printer, anyone can. Yeah. Well, they want to put some file in there that's going to prevent it from printing certain things, I guess. I don't know. To me, it's a First Amendment violation. Like and share this. So let's see here. I don't know. I don't think it's they want to put malware on your stuff. So we're not going to, I don't think we can watch this whole video because that would be like bad. But
I'm asking
No. You don't ask me nothing, man.
$2.25 million.
Get out.
Are we the only community that does fraud?
How come they said this building was closed? Do you guys know where advanced mobility is? Advanced mobility? Yeah, we're looking for it. Never heard of it?
They know we're shining the light on the fraud, and they have no defense.
Would you like to see anybody in the government here held accountable?
Most definitely, because there can definitely be an allocation of funds.
The Minnesota fraud scandal continues to get worse and worse as billions of dollars of fraud has been exposed, and as I showed the world the blatant fraud taking place at daycares and other locations across Minnesota, it became the most viewed video expose on the internet and created instant change within the government as the Fed sent thousands of federal agents to Minnesota, and the HHS froze over $185 million in all payments to childcare. And while politicians like Tim Walz call people like me white supremacist and far-right delusional conspiracy theorists for exposing the fraud, meanwhile, he actually dropped out of running for re-election. The Minnesota fraud scandal has erupted the nation as protests and riots took place, all starting because daycares like Quality Learning Center were exposed. However, the daycares is only a small portion of the fraud taking place in Minnesota. In this video, I will take you into what has continued to allow this fraud to happen and connect all of the dots for you, exposing all of the fraud from strange connections of the business owners and the politicians who have openly admitted to the fraud on live TV. And to dive deep into the fraud, I met back up with the local David, who has been investigating this widespread fraud scandal for years. So here in Minnesota, you have daycare fraud, you have adult daycare fraud, you have healthcare fraud, and you even have more fraud. What's some of the fraud that's also taking place here inside of Minnesota?
Well, what I think might be sort of the heart of the beast here is this transportation fraud. And what I mean by that is in Minnesota, we have something called non-emergency medical transportation, NEMT. My research has shown that there are about 1,020 such companies in Minnesota.
Wow. Anyway, so this video is great. It's out there. I don't want to watch the whole video because that's kind of stealing. Of the local David, yeah. The software law can't work. We'll count on rats. The company will not write the software, and there's no way to prevent others removing it. But you can't. That's the thing. That it would, yeah. And so enforcement will apply to third-party reporting. Yeah. Check the DMs on X. Okay, we'll do a Cesium Cat. Thank you. The old guy found this just in the nick to report it. Yeah. Okay. Let me check my X. Okay, here it is. Okay. All right. Here it is. Breaking, another ICE-involved shooting in Minneapolis. They need to be removed from power before they start a civil war. Tim Walz and Affray. I bet Tim Walz can hold 4 tennis balls in his mouth at the same time.
All right, this is a Fox News alert. This breaking just as we're coming on the air tonight. We have learned that there was an ICE-involved shooting in Minneapolis. We go live to Alexis McAdams. She is live on the ground with the details. Alexis, I've just been looking at these images that we're just getting a hold of now, and we'll keep them up for our audience to see. It looks like things are, spiraling out of control very quickly there.
Well, Sean, that's the thing, is it ebbs and flows. So 1 minute, there's a small protest at the federal building. The next minute, these people with whistles and an agenda show up to these different sites across the city. That's what DHS has been saying. What we know right now from our colleague Bill Malugin, who just got off the phone with his federal sources, Sean, is that a man who was a target of an ICE operation from Venezuela, who ICE says was in the country illegally, was a target in this operation here in Minnesota. So they go to the door. That's when they say this Venezuelan migrant held up a shovel, tried to assault one of their agents. And you can hear those chants there in the background as protesters show up. That's when they say use the shovel to try and assault the agent. Shots were fired. This Venezuelan teen, we're told, was shot in the leg, expected to be okay. Bill Malugin telling me there's actually a picture that a source texted him of this guy on a stretcher smiling, kind of giving a thumbs up as he's taken away to the hospital. So we'll get more on what's going on there at the scene. But it's become aggressive here, and I saw it today when I was on the ground with law enforcement here, with ICE agents here in Minnesota. It's something we've been keeping an eye on as it continues to grow. But it comes as the governor here, Tim Walz, who's also under investigation in this huge fraud scheme here, Sean, just told people, hey, these are just our neighbors, and if you see them getting arrested, take out your cell phone and record. Watch.
Armed, masked, undertrained ICE agents are going door to door, ordering people to point out where their neighbors of color live. They're pulling over people indiscriminately, including U.S. citizens, and demanding to see their papers. And if you see these ICE agents in your neighborhood, take out that phone and hit record. Help us create a database of the atrocities against Minnesotans.
Wow. That is crazy. Yeah. Walz, he's a gangbanger. Yeah. Local police needs to assist. Well, they should. Diamond G says, whoa, my home state is ground zero. Gangbanger then. Yeah, definitely a gangbanger. Hey, Eastwood Farms, what's up? Great to see you, man. Violent illegal, definitely. Insurrection Act now. That's what they need to do. John Mosley, Minnesota. Yes, it's crazy. And his pants are on fire. That man needs to be arrested. Yeah, Walz needs to shush. Mini Sotan, I don't. Neighbors of color. Heck, I couldn't point any direction. Yeah, we saw the thing. They're all listed as white. So what is he talking about? I mean, but everybody has a color, right? Yeah. Walz is an idiot. Bless his heart. Definitely. All right, and in this, I did find the video that they're talking about where the woman said something about the fake bullet, why you're using real bullets. Let's see. This says, these people are insane, brainwashed. Why did you have real bullets? Have these radical left lunatics been told federal agents don't have real bullets? Could that be why they feel so emboldened when they try to attack them? Let's see. We'll play this. Oh, wait. Oh, sorry. Sorry, I wasn't sharing the correct tab. This is what I was talking about right here. These people are insane, brainwashed to the max. Why do you have real bullets? Let's see. Why do you have real bullets? Let's see. All right. I want to make sure it's loud enough for everyone to hear. Okay.
Why do you have real bullets?
Okay, so that's what she said. Why do you have real bullets? Let me, why does it keep changing? So I guess, I don't know. Do you guys think that's what she says? Let's see. We'll listen one more time.
Why don't you have real bullets?
So I guess she does say that's something about real bullets. Newsmax is reporting about the shooting. All right, I'll look for Newsmax. It's Nerf or nothing. Because you all are insane and you're using real cars. Yes, we should be using ghost bullets. Definitely. LA used rubber bullets. Well, use rubber bullets and stuff like that. Was she driving a real car? That's the wife. Yeah. She got hit by the dum-dum bullets. Yeah, dum-dums. Yeah. Why? Because criminals use real bullets. Yes. And as he's being impeached, yeah, someone filed articles of impeachment against Tim Walz, but let's be real here. Minnesota's like a super, leftist. They have this Democratic farm labor socialist group that actually runs it. That's their Democrats. Just, so you're not going to get anything like that. So let me go to Newsmax here and see if I can find the story. Newsmax. All right. Or wait, what was this? Oh yeah, that's this one. So let me go to this Newsmax. Newsmax, breaking news. Oh, it says I got to be a subscriber to watch it live, so I can't do that. Sorry, we'll do this as a team sport here to try and find this. Let's see. Ice shooting, another ice shooting, ABC News, civil investigations, the ice shooting. This is Fox 9, Minneapolis. Okay.
When ICE officials were trying to detain a subject.
We also have Fox 9's Courtney Godfrey on scene as well at 24th and Aldrich there in North Minneapolis. Again, if this began in the Hawthorne neighborhood. Courtney, you are there on site. Are you in a less active area, or is it much the same where you are?
Yeah, and I just arrived on the scene, but I can just by hearing Maury's report, it sounds like he's in a more active area than I am. I'm about 2 blocks away from where he is, about a block and a half away from where this actually happened. I will say, though, the crowds are growing. The traffic around here it is pretty heavy. Cars continue to go by. There's very little parking left, so people are continuing to come into the area, obviously wanting to join these protests. We are seeing ICE agents here on the street. They've put up caution tape to try and block the protesters from going towards that scene. There's about a half a dozen ICE agents behind me blocking the roadway, and the protesters who are out here, maybe about 50 people right now, they have been shouting at those ICE agents saying, "We don't want you here, leave." A lot of obscenities being thrown tonight. We are hearing flashbangs. Not sure if those are fireworks from individuals in the crowd here or if those are from law enforcement. Again, I just got down here on the scene, so I'm trying to assess the situation. Haven't had an opportunity to talk to anybody out here, but I will say, at least where we are right now, it's mainly just individuals continuing to gather here and speak their displeasures towards the ICE agents that are here on scene, but really not a lot of activity or any violence at this point. And of course, we'll update you as this continues. You can hear that right now. They are yelling. They are yelling at those ICE agents, telling them to go home.
Yeah, and Courtney, we have multiple camera views at different locations around that block, so we can see where crowds are moving. We have an aerial shot, too, from Sky Fox 9. Courtney, I know you were en route. Do you know the latest from the Department of Homeland Security on what happened around tonight? All right, let's go back to Maury, where we do have more activity happening by his camera. And so, Maury, if you could...
Cesium Cat, just so you know, you sent me the DM you sent me. The second one is the same exact as the first one. So whatever you copied, it just repeated the same thing. That's all I got. It's two of the same. I don't want to pull it up because it says your name on it. So I don't know if you want that out there. So, hey, what's up? Phil Coggins is here. Absent, for instance, you could have said, "Why did you have to shoot her?" And the text said that might be what you hear. No, you hear her say, I played it. You didn't, Phil Coggins, you didn't hear her say, why do you have real bullets? Because, I mean, I heard it. I don't know.
To observe, to witness, to say in one big voice, along with all these people, that this is not okay. This is not the country my dad fought for.
Wait a minute.
This is a disgrace.
I don't believe your dad fought for anything. Why are you wearing a mask?
Any other scenes or any other?
Actually, this has brought out the activist in me like nothing since September 11th. It's incredible.
What do you think about the kind of what's been happening as far as the push and pull with the Border Patrol or the federal agents and the crowd here?
I think it's scary. I've never lived in a time like this. I've never been afraid of my own government before. In my whole life.
Go ahead.
I was raised to love this country.
No, you weren't. You're a liar.
Now I'm afraid of the government.
No.
Are you at all worried about yourself getting caught up in the tear gas or
I don't believe any of it.
going on?
Hey, hello, what's up?
That's a
Says
risk
we
I
were
have
raided.
to take to be present and
Big red
support
one guy raided
our
the screen.
community and the people that are afraid to go to work and go to school.
Thank you, big red one guy.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Kay. Appreciate it. Again, right now things have calmed down just a little bit. The crowd still here. Border Patrol agents, they haven't really deployed any flashbangs or tear gas in the last 5 minutes or
Hey,
so.
Rogue Venus is hello from Northern Cal. Great to see you.
Up at the intersection,
Cowgirl USA,
back up
US, US,
at the
US.
tape,
Awesome.
And kind of.
Differences after 9/11 when we joined together. We didn't get pulled apart like we're doing now. Yes,
Let
definitely.
me understand this, and our viewers can understand as
Check
well.
out the big
They
red one
retreat
guy.
and then they go back to the original spot and wait to get the tear gas again, Maury?
Well, yeah, like they have police tape across Lyndale here. Yeah. The federal agents are a few feet back. The crowd kind of comes up to the intersection and crowds around that tape. The federal agents then deploy tear gas or flashbangs to disperse the crowd and move them away. Then the crowd runs at about a half a block or so, and then once the smoke clears, the crowd comes, the federal agents retreat, and then the crowd comes back and occupies the intersection like they're doing now.
Maury, have you seen any state or local law enforcement presence where you are?
When I first arrived on the scene, I actually pulled up right next to the chief of police, but they quickly moved from the location that I initially came to and went somewhere else, and I was about a block or so away, so when I heard that there was activity over at this intersection.
The reason the police's chief shows up is that way they can say they did send police, even though that means that no one's going to do anything, because the chief of police does not go to actually do anything. He doesn't, perform police actions. Big one guy goes, green siren. That's right. You can't hear us both. Sorry. Because the reason I was trying to talk over it, because right now it's playing. It doesn't let me rewind or pause. It's a live feed, so that's why I didn't want to do this to talk. So sorry. The CCP must pay pretty good. They do. They pay great. They pay big money. Save big money at Menards.
Earlier tonight at 6:50 p.m. our time, there was a targeted arrest of, as DHS puts it, an illegal alien from Venezuela who was released into the country in an attempt to evade arrest. That subject fled the scene in a vehicle, crashed the vehicle, got out. There was a federal agent that got into some sort of scuffle, fight. We don't know exactly what it was, that resulted in two other individuals coming out of a nearby apartment. And then, according to this release from the government, those two people began beating the federal officer with a snow shovel and a broom or broom handle. At that point, the Venezuelan migrant took off and then also began assaulting the officer. So there were three people allegedly on the officer at the time. The officer, in a defensive mode, fired his weapon, hit the Venezuelan migrant in the leg, and was able to break up the fight. And both the Venezuelan migrant and the officer are now at HCMC, we believe.
Yeah, and 2 other attackers are in custody. There's so many pieces to this traffic stop that started at 6:50. Even after the initial subject was apparently shot in the leg, the 3 subjects ran back into an apartment and barricaded themselves inside. So we have yet to talk to anybody who witnessed this in the neighborhood.
Yeah, and what's happening out there is, for the most part, the people who are showing up have no idea what happened. We just got the release in terms of the details from that side of the story.
Yeah, because basically you've got these politicians riling up all these, tards and telling them, oh, ICE is the bad guy, so when anything happens, it's ICE bad. So they don't even know. So you had people, 3 guys, 2 of them with weapons, beating a federal officer. Yeah, these would cheer if ICE officer died. Yes, he would. Is Walsh going to send in the guard? I think he was gonna, but then actually somebody probably told him, hey, dude, you send a guard and you try to screw around and they do anything to oppose federal agents, you're basically committing, sedition. And you could be, charged. 3 of the people gang up on the one ICE. What did they expect? Yeah, Mr. Scott Awesome says, Menards, Great Plains, Midwesterner. What? Where is this playing? Are you guys? What the? Are you guys hearing this? Oh, I know where it's coming from. Never mind. Never mind. Fucking son of a bitch. I'm hearing noises. I'm hearing video, mute stuff in my headphones. I couldn't figure out where it was coming from. Yeah. Sounds of our leaders in Minnesota is a psychos violently activated insurrection. Yeah, it's crazy. You can't hear it. What are you hearing? I was hearing. You can't hear it. All right, ceiling cast, Jim. No, it was a video that started autoplaying in one of my 60 tabs, and I had to try to figure out where it was coming from. I don't hear anything, probably an embedded video. It was playing, and I had to figure out where it was coming from. He hasn't used the Insurrection Act yet. Yeah, he has to do it. You're not hearing anything. Yeah, the voice is in my head. Yeah. My mind's playing tricks on me. I sit alone in my 4-cornered room staring at candles. Ba-na-na-na-na. No, thought you froze up. Thanks for the follow, Mr. Scott. Feel free to unfollow if you need space for someone with streams. If you get to 1,000, I may, but no promises. Wow. Mr. Scott says, I'm a collector of following channels. Well, follow mine because it's going places, maybe. So let's get back to this and see what else.
Come to watch and see what's happening. Whenever there is an ICE enforcement going on, oftentimes word will pass around the neighborhood and then beyond, and people will gather. And that is what we're seeing tonight, in addition to what happened during this traffic stop with the subject of an enforcement being shot.
We're trying to give all our viewers as many views as we can. If you're looking at your TV now or your computer screen, you see 5 different images up there. Those are cameras placed, obviously, Skyfox 9 above the scene of the incident involving that federal agent and an immigrant, and then the other 4 are locations.
All right, it's an illegal alien, not an immigrant. And for the first of the evening, Lisa today just gives $10 with no comment. Thank you, Lisa, for the first donation of the evening. And with that, now, folks, that means we are just $90 away from a first additional hour of the show and $40 away from Bellavision. Yes. Yes, let's keep them coming. Let's get it going. Rally, yes. Mr. Scott Awesome, thank you. I already do follow you. That's 0.00001% of the local population. DF is on Rumble, I think. What's DF on Rumble? I think I saw you with Watcher on the web a couple of months ago. Yeah. I've been on Future Conflict a couple times. He is a collector. Okay. I also like tacos. Oh, everybody likes tacos. Yeah, my favorite war movie is it's a Mexican war movie called Taco Lips Now. Thank you. Illegal Aliens, period. Yes. I saw the same thing. You should stream some cooking content. Could be fun. Oh, I was gonna. You want me to screen cooking content? Really? I could. Good.
Attacked the law enforcement officer with a snow shovel and a broom handle. As the officer was being ambushed and attacked by the two individuals, the statement says, the original suspect got loosed and began striking the officer with a shovel or broomstick. Fearing for his life and safety as he was being ambushed by the three individuals, the officer fired a defensive shot to defend his life. The initial subject was hit in the leg. The statement goes on to say that all three subjects ran back to the apartment and barricaded themselves inside. The attacked officer and subject are both in the hospital. Both attackers are in custody. And again, this is the statement coming in from the Department of Homeland Security within the last 15 minutes here, describing their version of what took place in a Hawthorne neighborhood tonight at about 6:50. Randy, Kelsey?
And those ICE agents remain on the scene, a good number of them, because you have seen in Maury Glover's, where his location is and his camera vantage point, the agents have a perimeter set up. They have also been, and this is this more? Okay, so we've watched those flashbangs. And we've seen protesters letting off fireworks. So there is some volatility going on between protesters who've gathered at the scene and the law enforcement presence that was already there after this shooting tonight. And again, multiple rounds of flashbangs, tear gas deployed against the crowd. You can see fireworks now from the aerial shot. The crowd, we've been told, is about 100 to 150 people that have gathered. At times it feels like it's getting bigger. And again, when the crowd is pushed out, Maury said then as soon as the chemical irritants clear the air, they go back up to the perimeter line again.
Yeah, we're seeing some pretty active scenes now in that 5-box that we have on your screens at home, folks. The one scene, I think you witnessed our photographer go down on the ice. As they were backing up again, more chemical irritants were being deployed and people were trying to back up along with our crew. That's the big box you can see there on the left side of your screens. And you can see that the agents, and there's another one that was deployed. Some of this is fireworks, too, that are being thrown by protesters as well. So sometimes it's hard to tell exactly what's happening there and what's coming from whom. But it is a situation out there that is extremely volatile right now from an incident that occurred 2.5 hours ago.
And so we're trying to get additional information as much as we possibly can to understand the full picture of this. We do have Department of Homeland Security has told us what happened earlier tonight at 6:50, and that they have a subject in the hospital who was shot by an officer who feared for his life after he had been ambushed. Again, this started with a traffic stop trying to take an illegal alien, according to DHS, from Venezuela into custody. That subject then crashed and then fled the scene. And then once the officer was trying to take that person into custody, 2 people ran out of a nearby apartment, also started attacking law enforcement with a snow shovel and broom. And as the officer was being ambushed, DHS says that the officer then fired a shot to defend his own life. And the 3 subjects then got up and went and barricaded themselves in an apartment. So the officer is in the hospital, the person from Venezuela who was shot in the hospital, 2 other attackers in custody. We're waiting to hear from just local law enforcement too, because they do respond for crowd control, and we haven't heard from local law enforcement yet.
Yeah. And Courtney,
do they? Because they're not there 2 hours later.
Right now, as you can see, that largest scene there is very active. There's been a lot of chemical irritants released. We've seen the fireworks that have been thrown at ICE agents. Right now in the top right hand of your screen, someone's just being taken down by federal officials that tried to rush the area there. So it is happening very quickly. Kelsey, you were on the air when the governor spoke at 7 o'clock, and he had a message for Minnesota.
Yeah, so in addition to all of this,
Yeah,
and again, every
do
day
more.
there are multiple
Do more
things that
stuff.
are happening at the same time as this operation continues. And there is a presence of 2,000 to 3,000 agents in the metro. The governor called a 7 o'clock address for the state of Minnesota. He did not take any questions. It was just an address to the people that lasted 7 minutes. He said that he's addressing the people directly, saying that he is worried that people are being pulled over indiscriminately, and that he called the situation an occupation. He aired his feelings, saying the Trump administration wants confusion and chaos. But he also put a call out to people saying, do go out, witness what is happening. And he specifically asked for citizens to record with their cell phone what is happening. And he said these words, because we are collecting that information for potential prosecution in the future. And again, it lasted about 7 minutes. And again, the scene, again, we're seeing ICE officials now moving
physically moving people back now, forming a line and physically moving people back away from.
So I don't want to hear anyone ever again on the right. Anyone, any rhino, any of these people like the National Review or any of these other neocon rhino pieces of crap who say like, oh no, don't prosecute these people. No, you prosecute them all now. They're threatening to go after people just enforcing the law now. So that's it. They all get arrested now for anything. Tim Walz jaywalks. He gets arrested for it. That's it. And that's, I'm being hyperbolic, but anything. Any crimes now. No more free rides. That's it. No more get out of jail free cards. No more like, well, it's political. No. They all go. That's it. They all go. We'll come back to this later. We're going to move on. I don't know. Cover some other stuff just to keep it moving. So we got this post. It says, move over, Timmy.
Move, bitch. Get out the way. Get out the way, bitch. Get
Wow.
out the way.
Move, man. Get out the get. Get out the get.
Move, bitch.
Ha 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 ha. Trump with the finger. That's funny.
Get out the way. Get out the way, bitch. Get out the way.
Mm-hmm. Walls and his jazz hands should have been a hint. Yeah. Civil War. So very sad. These crazies can't see the truth. Yeah. So this is being reported that the U.S., Denmark, Greenland are going to form a working group to find an agreement on the island's future. Following a White House meeting on January 4th, the foreign minister of Denmark and its semi-autonomous region territory of Greenland said they had agreed to form a high-level working group with the United States to help steer Greenland's future. At present, Greenland is a territory of Denmark and is covered under the North Atlantic Treaty Organization Alliance. U.S. President Donald Trump, however, has repeatedly expressed interest in acquiring Greenland or otherwise asserting control over the island territory. Why are they fighting for these smellies and other illegals? I don't understand that. Because to them, it doesn't matter who it is. It's all about fighting Orange Man. It's all Orange Man bad. That's what it's all about. It doesn't matter. Whatever. It doesn't matter. If Trump found a cure for cancer, they would say, how dare he kill defenseless cancer cells? That's what they would say. Yeah, Rogue Nina says, boom. Trump's comments have met with pushback from Danish and Greenlandic leaders. U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance and Secretary of State Marco Rubio hosted Danish Foreign Minister Lars Løkke Rasmussen and Greenlandic Foreign Minister Vivian Motzfeldt at the White House on January 14th to discuss the issue. At the news conference outside the Danish embassy following the White House meeting, Rasmussen described a frank but constructive discussion. with Vance and Rubio, but said disagreements remain. A source briefed on a meeting told the Epoch Times that the discussion was very tense. Yes, this is the definition of an insurrection. Trumpinator for 5 says, yeah, I'm bad. You know it. Thank you for the 5. And with that, we are now $85 away from the first additional hour of the show and $35 away from Bellavision. That's right. Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. In a true social media post on January 14th, ahead of the White House meeting, President Trump cast Greenland as a key component for ensuring the security of the United States. The United States needs Greenland for the purpose of national security. It's vital for the Golden Dome that we are building, Trump wrote. Trump further stated that without the military capabilities of the United States, the rest of NATO would not have an effective force to keep Greenland out of the hands of Russia or China. Concluding his social media post, Trump wrote, NATO becomes far more formidable and effective with Greenland in the hands of the United States. Anything less is just unacceptable. That blew out my ear. The bell? All right, I'm sorry. I turned it down a little. I didn't think I had it that loud. I apologize. Rogue Nina says, hey, Jim, great to meet you. I followed. I got to charge my phone and call it a day. You're 100% correct. Like your style. With you entirely. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm just keeping it real. And hopefully when keeping it real goes wrong, doesn't happen. Rachel Boone, legals are reliable demon rat votes. They're replacing their voter base with a bunch of dependent communists. Yes. Thanks, Nina. At his January 14th news conference, Rasmussen said the current framework can still work to address U.S. security concerns. We, the Kingdom of Denmark, continue to believe that also the long-term security of Greenland can be ensured inside the current framework, the 1951 Agreement on Defense of Greenland, as well as the NATO Treaty. Yes, there is a treaty from 1951 that gives the United States sole authority to base troops on Greenland. If Greenland is a territory of Denmark, what's the harm with them becoming one of our territories? Orange man bad. You know, if it was Obama, they probably would have just already gave it to him. They would have said, oh, Obama wants it, give it to him. Mosfelt said it's important to cooperate with the United States to address shared security concerns, but that doesn't mean we want to be owned by the United States. Is that like I say, like owned? Owned? Yes. FYI, the third world people came from socialist countries. Yes, they did. They all did. The problem is a bunch of them only left because they didn't think they got enough. Speaking with reporters at the White House on January 14th, Trump remained adamant that he's weighing a range of options for Greenland. Yes. Diamond G says, now it's Orange Man Rad. We must always keep it real. It's our duty. See you again. Well, thank you. We need Greenland for national security, so we're going to see what happens, he told reporters. And when asked what options he's considering, certainly I'm not going to give up options, but it's very important. Greenland is very, very important, super important, like bigly, for national security, including of Denmark. Trump said there is a little that Denmark could do on its own to retain control over Greenland should Russia or China seek to assert control. I mean, that's the bottom line. If Greenland ends up becoming like a sovereign, independent country with only 64,000 people on it, it won't be long before China or Russia is in there. They'll come in, friendly. They'll let them in, just like happened to all these other countries in Africa and South America. Just let the Chinese and Russians roll right in. I'm so bad, I make orange juice look bad. That's right. There's peace. Yes. But there's everything we can do, he said. You found out last week with Venezuela, there's everything we can do about such things, such as that. U.S. forces captured Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro in a pre-dawn raid on January 3rd after breaching the country's air defense network. Trump has ramped up calls for the U.S. control over Greenland in a day since the operation in Venezuela. Rogue Nina says, I see, no different one, our family keeps growing and growing, love it. And then here we go, another 5, Denmark. Denmark has pledged billions to the EU's climate laws. They need bigly money to comply. The Gadsden Purchase worked for Mexico, who needed money. We got Tucson. From Phoenix, Arizona, all the way to Tacoma, Philadelphia, Atlanta, LA, Northern California, where the girls got warm. Good night, all. Good night. Nice to meet you. Well, thank you, Spuds, for the 5. And with that, we are now just $80 away. $80 away for the first additional hour, and $30 away from Bella Vision. Bella Vision. I gotta fix that. I screwed up. Just 30 away from Bella Vision. Bella Vision, Bella Vision. Hold on a second. Are we covering Canada with the Golden Dome if we needed Greenland for it? Yes, we're covering them all. They're all being covered. Good night. Thanks for being here. See you again soon. Nice to meet you, Rogue. Yes. Steve Miller approves of your karaoke skills, Jim. Karaoke. Karaoke? Karakiaki? Teriyaki? Something. Hey, Sunshine's here. What's up? Hey, Jim, everyone. I'm here, but late again. Don't worry about it. I say we offer every Greenlander 10 mil each, all 40,000 of them. I mean, we're going to get into it. There's some speculation about what it's going to cost. NORAD is already there, yes. It's never too late for the sunshine. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. Goes away. And this is Danish officials say there's a fundamental disagreement with Trump over Greenland. Yes, that fundamental disagreement. Oh my God. Ugh. A top Danish official, also known as a cheese Danish, said on Wednesday the fundamental disagreement over Greenland remains with President Trump after holding a highly anticipated White House talks with Vice President J.D. Vance and Secretary of State Marco Rubio. The two sides, however, agreed to create a working group to discuss ways to work through the differences as Trump continues to call for a U.S. takeover of the semi-autonomous territory of NATO ally Denmark. If they were really our ally, they would just give it to us. They would say, like, you know what, all the stuff you've done for us over the years, here you go. Have a nice day. Britain said they'd go to war to stop us from taking Greenland. Oh, okay. I guess they want to get stomped a third time. If you can't defend your borders, you're fooling yourself. You're fooling yourself, but you won't believe it. You're killing yourself, and you won't believe it. We run Denmark. Yes. Greenland is holding out for more money. Yes. Fundamental disagreement just means Danes want some money for their troubles. Could be. Wake up. You're killing yourself. Wake up. The group, in our view, should focus on how to address the American security concerns. Yes. UK is imploding on itself. While at the same time respecting the red lines of the Kingdom of Denmark. Oh, no kings, remember? No kings. Remember no kings? So we don't care about what the king says. He added, it remains clear that the president has the wish of conquering over Greenland. No. Linny Lou says, Jim, you have to add 15 minutes for each song you sing. I don't know about that. I think this is added entertainment. Trump is trying to make the case that NATO should help the U.S. acquire the world's largest island and says anything less than it being under American control is unacceptable. Denmark, meanwhile, announced plans to boost the country's military presence in the Arctic and North Atlantic as Trump tries to justify his calls for a U.S. takeover of the vast territory by repeatedly claiming that China and Russia have designs on Greenland, which holds vast untapped reserves of critical minerals. Of course they do. How many soldiers does Denmark have that they think they're going to boost? Come on. Honestly, the U.S. should just, since we have basing rights and we have several bases there, we should just plant, 150,000 troops there on Greenland. Just have them stay there for a while, and then it sure isn't Americans. Yeah. Spud says, okay, I'm over here now, helping out the algorithm. And he said, no, I thought you were across the street. No, I'm over here now. I'm over here now. So why don't you guys go across the street? Who knows that movie? It's the Donroe Doctrine. Not if we boost ours more. Yes. Denmark declares fundamental disagreement after U.S.-Greenland talks as NATO allies ramp up military presence. Oh. Who writes these articles? The Smellies? Maybe. Could be. Trump insists the U.S. needs Greenland and anything less is unacceptable.
Policy question. How much money are you thinking of giving people in Greenland to get them on board with a possible U.S.
I'm not talking about money for Greenland yet. I might talk about that. But right now, we are going to do something on Greenland, whether they like it or not, because if we don't do it, Russia or China will take over Greenland. And we're not going to have Russia or China as a neighbor. Okay?
Oh.
I would like to make a deal, the easy way. But if we don't do it the easy way, we're going to do it the hard way.
Wow, the hard way.
And I'm a man. And by the way, I'm a fan of Denmark too. I have to tell you. And they've been very nice to me. I'm a big fan. But the fact that they had a boat land there 500 years ago doesn't mean that they own the land. I'm sure we had lots of boats go there also. But we need that because if you take a look outside of Greenland right now, there are Russian destroyers, there are Chinese destroyers and bigger. There are Russian submarines all over the place. We're not going to have Russia or China occupy Greenland, and that's what they're going to do if we don't. So we're going to be doing something with Greenland, either the nice way or the more difficult way. Please, go ahead, ma'am.
President, why is it so important to you to own it when you have a military presence there, which you could expand to affect the security?
Because when we own it, we defend it. You don't defend leases the same way. You have to own it. And, with a nation, look at what happened with Obama, with that horrible deal they made with Iran. It was a short-term deal. It was like a 9-year deal. Countries can't make 9-year deals or even 100-year deals. Countries have to have ownership. And you defend ownership, you don't defend leases. And we'll have to defend Greenland. If we don't do it, China or Russia will. It's not going to happen. We are not going to have, and I like China, I like Russia, I love the people of China, I love the people of Russia. I get along very well with President Putin, but I'm very disappointed in him. I get along very well with President Xi. I'm going to go over to China in April, but I don't want them as a neighbor in Greenland. Not going to happen. And by the way, and NATO's got to understand that. I'm all for NATO. I saved NATO. If it weren't for me, you wouldn't have a NATO right now. But we're not going to allow Russia or China to occupy Greenland, and that's what's going to happen if we don't.
Wow. Wow. Okay, yeah. So let's see here. Hope you're having a good evening. America first, dang it. I love that, the Donroe Doctrine. Yeah. Who writes these articles? The Smellies is. Sorry, Terry, I had to put my glasses on. Sorry, I haven't said hello to each one of you. It's hard to get to chopping the glitches. Yeah, the chat's hard to do. Protect the Northwest Passes, definitely. Hope you're all having a great evening. Oh, sure, here we go. It's all right. How's your going? Where does Greenland get its money from? They're subsidized by Denmark. And technically, we're going to get into it. The Norwegians weren't the ones that landed here. The Danes went to ransack Britain. That's right. I believe it was the Norwegians. Norwegians are the ones that landed there. The Danes went to ransack Britain. Yeah, the Norwegians did, and then there was a union, some kind of Danish union or something like that. And then when the union dissolved, somehow Denmark was able to keep it. This is all talk. Yeah, this is talk. They're talking. Everything we do on the show is talk. Snarf. No one taking Greenland. Okay, all hype. All right. I say we cut the weapons supply to NATO right now. Move the nuclear material. President Trump just dropped truth bombs all over the place. Yeah. Build an infrastructure, definitely. The Kingdom of Denmark and Norway, yes. I'm just saying. All right. Glad to hear it. So Trump, Trump saying all this stuff. He wants to purpose and control it. Trump spoke hours before Vance and Rubio set to meet with the Denmark's foreign minister. What you need when you need it at Baumgars. Okay. Eric the Red, expelled from Iceland for murder, settled Greenland. Tell them give us Greenland to relieve NATO. You know what? I personally don't want us in NATO anymore, so if this is what it takes to get us out of it, then at one point they separated, I think, because of practice of semi-salic laws of inheritance. Maybe. On Tuesday, the Greenland's prime minister. See, why is this Greenland prime minister? I thought they said that Greenland was all these nukes or something they're called. So, but they got this, what's with the haircut? Which one has a more manly hairdo, the woman or the man? Or do we even know? This is crazy. What's with them? If we have to choose between the United States and Denmark, we choose Denmark. We choose NATO. Oh, okay. You choose NATO without the U.S. How's that going to work out for you? Actually, the Norwegians landed 1,000 years ago. He was off by 500 years. Okay, well, she's a Les Brothers. Okay, forget Greenland, take Cuba. Well, yeah. Why not both? Just saying. Let me check in here real quick. Let's see, anything news breaking?
Control as we move through the evening here. I presume that at some point someone will come out and say something, but so far, as far as I know, nothing.
Yeah, what are the concerns right now is it is dark and we do have a growing crowd at times. You can see from the aerial shots there the number of flashing lights, and then from the ground you can see the number of agents that are still they're stationed across the roadway. They're creating a perimeter to keep people out of the crime scene. You can see it's a neighborhood street that we're talking about, so these are narrow roads. They are letting some traffic around the area, but we have seen more. We've seen more first responder vehicles coming in.
Yeah, and presumably some of that would be based on the number of chemical irritants that have been deployed and other things that have been rocketed through the crowd and at law enforcement officers. There may have been some injuries there tonight as a result of this crowd gathering and the back and forth between law enforcement and protesters.
I don't see local police there. Shouldn't local police be there to do crowd control and stuff?
These are all scenes from various angles around that area of 6th Street, North 6th Street and 24th Avenue North in North Minneapolis and the Hawthorne neighborhood. We've tried to give people as many views as we can come up with to get a sense for how big the scene is, how many people are there, how many law enforcement personnel are there, and how it's been unfolding throughout the last 2.5 hours. And it has been intense at times, to say the least.
Yeah, and these are...
Yeah, it's been intense at times, to say the least. Had the cops done their job they get paid to do, this wouldn't be happening the first time around, much less the second. Yeah. NATO folds like a cheap suit once we leave. Even the French want to bail. Yeah, the French already are like half in, half out. They got a weird thing going on where they don't have to technically... They did some, yeah, definitely late Obama. Buy one, get one free. Yeah. Hey, I'm against NATO and the UN. We need out of both, definitely. Greenland is more strategic and has more resources other than sugar. Yes, Cuba will be self-liberated. Yes, Cuba will be self-liberated. Yes. They can't continue NATO without our money. That's right. No U.S., no NATO. What happened is, like, you remember, like, they had the union, like the stuff that happened with this, prior to World War II. Remember that? And Britain had all these treaties with people, and that's what basically spun us into World War II, was because they declared war when Germany invaded Poland with no actual ability to do anything about it. They didn't. They didn't have any ability to stop them or do anything. And we're not prepared at all. They just basically said, all right, here we go, World War. Everybody, and then because they declared war, all their people had to get involved, and the French, and it just spiraled, That's what they like happening. That's what they want to happen with Ukraine. They want to spiral us all into World War III.
Maury, are you there this time?
Okay.
All right.
And we know this involves a car that crashed. They say the subject they were initially trying to detain fled on foot. Officer caught up with the subject, attempted to take him into custody. Subject, they say, began to resist. And then once there was a scuffle, the officer said 2 other people came out and attacked him as well. He fired a shot to defend himself, and all 3 went into an apartment and barricaded themselves inside. So we know there are multiple pieces of the scene. We're not sure how far away the crashed car, fled on foot, versus apartment that was barricaded are from each other.
All right, let's try this one more time. Maury Glover on the scene there. All right, we are having so much trouble with Maury.
It's not Maury's fault.
Well, I'm worried because no, I'm not really worried, but he's fine. But the last time we talked to him, last time our viewers heard from him, he was in having respiratory issues from the chemical irritants. So when we can, producer, yeah, we'd sure love to Lori in the booth. And
all right, we'll check back in on this in a little bit. We'll see what else is going on. Just the news is Trump says U.S. must obtain Greenland. Anything else is unacceptable. I pray the ICE officer is okay and recovers. Yes, I do too. Greenland is empty. It's not hard to run. Yeah. Update to Tuesday with Maury. Trouble with Maury. Yeah, definitely. News 9 out of Australia says Denmark still has a fundamental disagreement with Donald Trump over Greenland. Should we hear what the let's hear what the people in Australia think.
The future of NATO hangs in the balance as the US president steps up his threats to take.
What? Why is it saying this? What do you mean? What the hell is going on?
The future of NATO hangs in the balance as the US president steps up his threats to take control of Greenland. Donald Trump claims other countries could try to seize the territory, prompting European leaders to tonight call for calm.
It's the frigid Arctic territory that's a hot commodity, according to the US president.
If we don't take Greenland, Russia or China will.
Donald Trump ramping up claims Greenland is needed for national security reasons, pointing to increased Russian and Chinese military activity in the region.
I could put a lot of soldiers there right now if I want, but you need more than that. You need ownership.
China's foreign ministry claims the country's activity in the Arctic aims to promote peace. The United States should not use other countries as an excuse to pursue its own selfish interests. Greenland's government is also hitting back, calling on NATO for protection, but the alliance's chief was treading carefully after meetings in Croatia.
So we are really working together here. And my only worry is, how do we stay safe?
An American attempt to take the Danish territory by force could spell the end of NATO, and European leaders are urging for calm. From the Croatian Prime Minister, allies have to respect each other. The Greek Prime Minister with a similar sentiment. Europe should be on the front line regarding the defence of the sovereignty of all European countries. But as the alliance faces a major test, the Trump administration is adamant it will get what it wants.
It would not just be in the best interest of the United States, but perhaps it would be in the best interest of Greenland as well.
In the United States, Reed Butler, 9 News.
How is Greenland a European country? So, and this report says buying Greenland could cost the U.S. $700 billion. Okay, seems cheap to me. Europe without the U.S. would be effed. Yes, it would. Media is the enemy of people. You need an interpreter. They hate him. It's not about Greenland. It's about rejecting Trump. We all know other nations are just seeing what the mockingbirds want them to. Yes, that's right. Definitely. A rough estimate suggests that buying Greenland could cost the United States $700 billion, nearly half the Department of War's budget. Nearly half the Department of War's budget. Sounds less than the Somali fraud bill. Yeah, cheap. And that's a great place to send the Somalis. You know, they like it cold. They love Minnesota. They would love it there. You know, maybe not. Who knows? Okay. Sources familiar with the matter said the estimate was produced by former U.S. officials and scholars as President Trump pushes to bring Greenland into the U.S. fold. According to NBC News, the Secretary of State Marco Rubio has been tasked with crafting a proposal to buy or acquire the 800,000 square mile Danish territory. Despite pressure and threats from the current administration, Greenland, the autonomous region of the Kingdom of Denmark, has rejected Trump's claim that the U.S. will acquire the island one way or another. It's hilarious that Somalis would love agreement. Sure they would. It's basically just like Minnesota, but, you know, more spread out. That way you could spread them across the whole island. You know, put 800,000 square miles. So that means you put one every 1 square mile. You know, that's 800,000. Spread them out. Get rid of them all. Put them all there. Delta Airlines started 3 times per week's flights to Greenland this past summer, and they lengthened their runway. Free one-way cruise to Greenland. Yeah, Bella, stand for be Bella. Yes, we are still currently 30 away from Bellavision, unfortunately. That could be the solution. Bring all the Greenlanders here, give Greenland to the Smellies, and let them make their own way. Have I checked PayPal? Oh, let me look. Oh, what do you know? Thank you, KPT. Thank you, KPT. With that, we are now 70 away from the first additional hour and only 20 away from Bellavision. Thank you so much. That's awesome. There's 20 away. Put a very tall fence around. Thank you very much, KPT. It's awesome and appreciated. Sharks, mines, a few other things. Yes. Greenland is not for sale. Well, everything has a price. One thing we've learned in this world is there's a price for everything. Greenland doesn't want to be owned, governed, or become part of the United States. Why? Why would that? I mean, that just makes no sense to me. Why would you want to be part of these, you know, windmill running people? Did I already talk about the Clintons? Not yet. Didn't talk about the Clintons yet. Previously, the Danish defense minister warned that troops will immediately respond with force to any military intervention. Danish troops will shoot first and ask questions later. Oh, okay. All right. Okay. All right. Denmark and Greenland officials are scheduled to meet. Yeah, we'll see. The Clintons. I didn't talk about the Clintons or the Clintons. I heard there's a clititis going around, so everyone should be helpful. I was hoping I missed that. No. And this just says, cold shoulder. Greenland hits back at Trump saying, you don't own us. We run with gangs. Center Square says, cost estimates vary, but even as Denmark says Greenland is not for sale. Well, if it's not for sale, how could cost estimates vary? They said the semi-autonomous isn't for sale, and the Greenland leaders, depending on who's helped, depends on fishing and subsidies from Copenhagen. Denmark's central bank noted in a recent report that Greenland's economy is slowing down with modest growth and serious challenges for public finances. Yes. Would you like to buy a vowel? Trump said U.S. ownership of Greenland is vital. So we agree. All right. Here we go. Next story. Lunar power. NASA and the Department of Energy team up to build and deploy a nuclear reactor on the moon by 2030. Carlin used to call him Slick Willie Clinton. Chaos in Minnesota is letting Bill and Hillary fly under the radar. Yeah, it is. It is. So yeah, they're going to build a nuclear power plant on the moon because Whitey's on the moon. More than just going to the moon, to build infrastructure for continued presence on the lunar surface. Not a chance they get that done by 2030. Well, And they could bring one. Trump Greenland ski resorts. Yeah. From now until the end of the decade, the U.S. space program will be laser focused on Earth's natural satellite, the moon. Is it natural, though? Or is it man-made? That's great, but we should really build a lot of nuke plants here on Earth first. With the crewed flights to the lunar orbit expected next month. Wow. NASA astronauts are expected to set foot on the moon again in 2027. That don't sound like a great idea. Well, it does. It does. Man, my nose is itching like crazy. I'm something. Allergies are killing me. That's great. We should really. Yeah, okay, saw that. Green cheese. Yesterday, reports arose that NASA and the U.S. Department of Energy are working to develop and deploy a nuclear reactor on the moon's surface within the next 4 years. So, this ambitious goal aims to fulfill one of President Trump's visions for space development. They want to provide reliable, abundant power to sustain future missions. The agency signed a memorandum of understanding. We now begin the Earth 1999 story arc. If you remember the show, then you know the primary plot point. The fission surface power reactors are meant to produce plentiful electrical power for future lunar missions. Under President Trump's national space policy, America is committed to returning the moon, building the infrastructure, and making investments required for the next giant leap to Mars and beyond. To infinity and beyond. Wow, look at that. They got a... What? Somebody just tipped me some Bitcoin on... Space 1999. Huh. That's weird. I don't know. I enabled the tip thing. I don't know. I had a tip jar. It said somebody was doing something on Rumble, some kind of thing, but I don't know. It's not me. I'm broke. Do we really need to go to Mars, or does Elon want to return to his people? It's possible. I don't know. The moon is a harsh mistress. Timeline. Yeah. It should show up here in the chat. Yankee Free, thank you. Let's see. Said something about... I just got a notification on my phone. Hey, Yankee, I don't know. Said something. Someone is about to donate something. But I don't know. I don't see it here. Anyway, I don't know. Said something. I don't even know what it is. I don't care. Oh, never mind. I don't know. I got sidetracked. I don't know what that means. Anyway, let me get back to what I was doing. I hope that wasn't... I hope I just didn't get hacked or something with that notification saying that I was getting a tip from... I was about to receive a tip from Rumble. So, NASA has long been developing a nuclear reactor to power bases on the lunar surface. So that's pretty cool. You know, we'll see what happens. Maybe. Sorry. I don't know what that means. We got to get the railgun figured out first. No, don't be sorry. I just enacted that tip jar thing on Rumble for the wallet and stuff the other day, and I don't know how it works. It said something about something. So you tipped $5 in Bitcoin? Oh, well, thank you. I'll take your word for it. With that 5, that means we are now 65 away from the first additional hour and only $15 away from Bellavision. I'll save that, and yes. Yeah. So I'll take your word for it. It says processing. Okay, I don't know what that means. I don't know. It should show in the chat. Yeah. We should send 100,000 soldiers to Greenland for this day. Thank you, Yankee Free. Yeah, so we'll see if it comes up in the chat. I don't know how it works. Oh, here it is. Look at this. Look at this, folks. Look at this. It says, tipped via Rumble Wallet, 0.00005,219 Bitcoin, 5 USD. Well, thank you. There it is. Thank you so much. Bitcoin and transactions take 15 minutes or more to clear. Okay. Well, thank you. Yes, there's a Rumble Wallet now. I don't know. So I think I'm lagging a bit. There it is. Thank you so much for the 5. I already deducted it because I took your word for it because that's how I roll. So nuclear reactors on the moon. So that's a good story. And then, all right, then we got this story. It says RFK Jr. appoints 2 new medical panels to the CDC advisory panel. Yes. Yeah, you just can't. I can't count on incompetence more often than not. Yeah. Yes. So it says Health and Human Services added to the panel that advises the center. I need a Bella coin. Yeah, just don't spend a Bitcoin all in one place. About a week after, so it added people to the panel that advises on the vaccines. It says about a week after officials bypassed the panel and made significant changes to the CDC's childhood vaccine schedule. Yeah. How'd that 100-year lease work out for England with Hong Kong? Not well. He appointed Dr. Kimberly Biss, who is based in Florida, and Dr. Adam Arato, who's based in Massachusetts, a mass of 2 shits. Nuclear reactors sound better than sailors on the moon. Okay. Well, Doc, I'm going to have to see what you got there now. Oh, wow. Whoa. Hey. Wow. We just got Yankee Free gifted 5 Jim Tells You memberships on Rumble. That ain't cheap. And it says that Anna Marie was gifted a membership by Yankee Free. Neurodivergent 1 was gifted a membership. Linny Lou was gifted a membership. Rachel Boone was gifted a membership. So that means that's a Bella Vision is activated for the evening. So we'll do that. Get Bella there. First and foremost, we'll fix that. And do this and go like this and this and this and this and this and this and this for Bella for the evening. So thank you. And so with that 5 gifted memberships, and Doc 42 was also gifted a membership. So with that, that means we are now, that's 25. So that's $40. We are now $40 away from the first additional hour of the show. So thank you all so much for that. Thank you. We got Bella. Yes, we did. Yes. Yeah. Oh, and then Spud says, check your PayPal, Jim. Okay, let me check my PayPal. And it says, oh, wow. Spuds for 20. That's awesome, Spuds. Thank you. So with that, now we are just 20 away from the first additional hour of the show. We might actually get an extra hour of the show tonight, it looks like. That's good. That's great. Thank you all so much. Thank you, Spuds. Yeah, Doc was gifted a membership too. Yes. You're amazing. Thank you. Yes, he's awesome. Yankee Free is awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you, Amazing Free. Spud says thank you. Sunshine says thank you. Yeah, we got Bella. You're welcome. Well, thank you. I appreciate you being here. It's really great. I lost my locals diamond again. Damn it, Rumble. I don't know what's going on with that. I really don't. Yes. Spud said recheck PayPal. I just did. It was 20. Unless there was another one. Let's see. Oh, that's it. Okay. Yes, thank you, Spuds. Bella, Yankee is awesome, but I'm still not performing tricks. Well, right now she's just birthing her baby, it looks like. I glitched. I lost the stream for a second. Damn internet. Oh, yes. Well, it happens. Still 20 away. Oh, yeah. What time did the show start? It started at 9 p.m. We got fix the camera. All right. I'll take care of that in a second. No, you're behind on the time. Just one. Okay. No, we still got, we still got 21 minutes on the goal on YouTube. So I was going to do 2.5 hours no matter what tonight. There we go. Well, we didn't get the extra hour yet. We're still, unless I'm missing something. No, I don't see nothing here. Yeah, we're still 20 away from the extra hour. So we'll see what happens. So AKIP serves as America's watchdog for vaccine safety. We have time to get there. $2 from 10 people. Yes, that would work. Beautiful Belle is here. Yeah, so we'll see. Dr. Arturo Bliss brings scientific credentials, clinical experience, and integrity this committee requires. Yes, Bliss, who's been critical of COVID vaccines, is a senior fellow for the Independent Medical Alliance. Two other members, Drs. Kirk Milhown and Dr. Robert Malone, are also part of the organization, which has voiced support for Kennedy's actions over the past year. For too long, major conflicts of interest marked the actions of AKIP, which the panel becoming a rubber stamp for pharmaceutical industry. Dr. Joseph Varan, the Alliance President, Medical Chief Officer, said in a statement, now doctors are restoring the panel to a patient-first, individualized healthcare focus. When it comes to vaccines, that's just what the doctor ordered. Well, thank you. Looks like we got a $2 roll going on here. We got $2 from Doc number 27. Thank you so much for the $2. And we got another $2 from Terry. Thank you. And we got 2 from Lisa. Thank you. And then we got 2 from Sunshine. And then we got 2 from G Sharkman. So that's 2, 4, 6, 8, $10. That's a great start. We're halfway there. Now we're just 10 away, just $10 away from the first additional hour of the show. We're on a roll. We're on a roll. Wow, that's a great start. Halfway there. That's right. And still got 20 minutes to go. Thanks, everybody. Yes, thank you, Doc, Lisa, G Sharkman. Thanks, everybody, tonight. Putting in the work. Yes, now retire. Yeah, so Uturutu wrote on X in 2025, the science is not long settled regarding vaccines. It's not. In another post, it's important to evaluate risk, benefits, and alternatives for each vaccine or the medication individually. That's right. AKIP meets several times a year to go over the new data and vaccines. It provides advice to the CDC on possible changes to vaccine guidance. Kennedy, in 2025, removed all members of the panel, saying they were conflicted, and picked their replacements. But yeah, it shouldn't be people that work for vaccine manufacturers. Really shouldn't. It really shouldn't. It should not. I think that's good. I think I'm big enough there. I think so. Yes. Oh, wait, I could probably make Bella big, too. Let me see. That's better, right, for Bella? You see Bella? Now better? Let's see. Oh, Spuds. It looks like Spuds gifted a membership. Let me see. What we got here? It says, yes, Spuds. It says Spuds gifted one Jim Tells You membership, and it says Critter Sitter was gifted the membership. Thank you so much. Wow. That's great. So that's another 5. And then Cesium Cat says, meet my 5. And that means...
Tactical assessment. Red Chinese victory. Impossible. America will never fall to communist invasion. I don't want to... Communism is the very definition of failure.
I screwed that up. Yeah, Yes, and with that, we hit the goal for the first additional hour of the show. Thank you all so much. With that, we are now $100 away from the second additional hour of the show. Thank you all. Coming in clutch tonight for the extra hour. My screen had rolled up. I only saw Bella's bottom half. Oh, that's not good. That's not good. Yay, you all got the red rash now. It only lasts 30 days as long as you apply the cream. Yes, now that's funny. Teamwork. That's right. Teamworks make the dream works. Thank you all so much. So the CDC made several changes to vaccine guidance based on advice from the remade panel, scaling back guidance on COVID-19 vaccination, halting universal recommendations that all infants receive a shot against hepatitis B. It's like, why? Why would they receive hepatitis B vaccines? I'm so cold. Oh, I'm sorry. Is it you need a blankie or something? Or yay? Or is it just maybe a fire? I mean, that's one thing I do. I'm going to say I do miss living in Florida as opposed to living up in Chicago. Is I used to love in the wintertime having a nice fire in the fireplace, sitting there with a blanket, chilling, doing. Never mind. Yeah, it was fun, by the fire, and maybe I don't know, really no need for that in Florida though. Yeah. Asked about the changes, a senior HHS official told reporters they continue to be important, and we can meet multiple times a year. We will propose important questions for them. So the official added, we'll continue to update the schedule based on their advice through a thorough examination of particular vaccines 2 to 3 times a year. I just came in from smoking, and it's cold out. Oh, lol. Okay, Doc. Let's ride. That's right. The next ACIP meeting is scheduled to take place February 25th and 26th. Some health organizations have sued the government to try to reverse the replacement of the ACIP members, alleging he violated federal law, which requires membership to be fairly balanced and not be inappropriately influenced. Fairly balanced with what? Between people who know what they're talking about and don't know what they're talking about? Political hacks and actual scientists? Because it was loaded with political hacks before. A federal judge recently concluded the plaintiffs plausibly alleged the panel is not fairly balanced, pointing to statements many members made against the COVID vaccine or vaccines in general. Oh. So that means but was it balanced before? How many people were on the panel before that were opposed to vaccines? None, right? So it wasn't fairly balanced before either, was it? So go pound sand. The judge let the lawsuit proceed, prompting plaintiffs to say they plan to lodge a motion seeking to block the February meeting. So they want kids to die? They don't want the meeting to go forward so they can figure out what vaccines are needed? Oh my God, why would they want to do this to the children's? Don't you think about the children's? The children's? One plaintiff, the American Academy of Pediatrics, it was loaded with pushers, definitely, which partners with vaccine companies, accused the panel of disseminating misinformation. Oh, see? So it wasn't fairly balanced before. It was loaded with a bunch of people who pushed vaccines. Pushers. And now it's not. And so they big sad. They're sad hams, as they call them. Ooh. Then the Hill says that RFK taps new members, including self-described anti-vaxxers for advisory panel. Oh, yes. Anti-vaxxers. So, but the lawsuit, I think that's what they need to argue to go, wait, but before there was nobody that was anti-vaccine that had any, said vaccines should have any skepticism at all. But that was fairly balanced. Kennedy adds vaccine advisory panel members with history of opposition to vaccine and antidepressants in pregnancy. Oh my God, so someone who doesn't think that pregnant women should take antidepressants because it might harm the child, that's a horrible thing? An obstetrician, who happens to know about pregnancy. Wow, so that makes them crazy. Anti-gene therapy, actually. Definitely marked WinWeb. So there's that. Let's jump back and see if anything new is going on in Minnesota.
City and state immediately. Again, I'm quoting, we stand by our immigrant and refugee communities. Know that you have our full support. Again, that was a half hour ago. The first statement that came from the city was this one.
Okay, we're getting a new shot of a vehicle with hazards on.
So
we do know that.
So the city supports the people who attacked the ICE agent with weapons. Yes, that's who the city, Jacob Frey.
There too. We don't know if that's part of the scene because there are multiple pieces of where this played out, including an apartment. There was the foot chase on the street, and then nope, that's not. I mean, well, we're not sure why our crews are showing us this specifically right now, but we know that they're just stopped for a moment, but it started with a traffic stop, and then that person hit a parked car. And then, according to DHS, fled on foot. Then the officer gave chase.
It feels like things are calming down. I mean, it's really hard for me to tell. There's a wider shot there. We haven't seen any of the chemical irritants deployed in the last few minutes. The crowd seems to be fairly stationary. Those that have gathered are at the police line that was set up. That is the area that they ebb and flow from. But it does seem like things have calmed down.
Oh, now I feel bad, Mark. I'm sorry. I'm going to have to address this. It says it's Mark Edwin. Lol. People always get it wrong. I thought it was marked win weeb, like you're a weeb that's winning and you're marked for win. But okay, now that I know it's Mark Edwin, I'll just call you Mark. All right, from now on. Refugees aren't the problem. Are they that stupid? Yes, they are stupid. They are very stupid. Yes, they are very, very stupid.
I'm looking, I don't see it. I'm looking, I don't see it. There's no change there anymore. We need a clearer instruction. There's no change for fucking Yoko. Giving you very clear instruction. Turn around, you won't take it. There is no tape on the ground. Give us clearer instruction. I'm backing up. Backing up. Keep moving back to the line. Thank you. Wow, are you done? You cleaned up fast.
Cool.
God damn, you're quick. Yeah, you do. What stage mover do you guys get?
Yes, go home, crazy people.
Example of the interaction between agents.
It wasn't
and
meant to be
the
an insult.
community when these things occur, when these gatherings occur. This is a really good example of what both parties go through and do in a situation like this, and we're just going to let you listen because this is the reality of where we are now.
This is the reality of where we are now. Yes, this is the reality where we are now. The Democrats stoked all this, and so now we have open insurrection and rebellion, basically. Yeah. The mayor has initiated an insurrection. Yes, he has. Yes. No, stop deporting our new slaves. Yes, that's what they're saying. That's definitely what they're saying.
We'll do this one and then you'll decide on another one? Or how many times? You guys are free to leave if you want.
For those viewers who may just be joining us at 10:17, a couple things happening here. One, you are seeing live the situation in the Hawthorne neighborhood of North Minneapolis after an ICE agent discharges weapons shooting what is described as a illegal immigrant from Venezuela.
Legal alien.
They were trying to apprehend.
Alien.
For what reason we don't know yet.
Because he's a criminal. That's why. And it doesn't matter the reason, because he's an illegal. That's the only fucking reason you need. He's illegal. What other reason you need? God, these people are so dense. All of them. Wow. But here it goes, because this is why. See, look, drive-by media. A Slate reporter lied about being hired by ICE to attack DHS screening. Yeah, she was never hired, never offered a job, and bailed when disclosures would expose her. This was clickbait built on deception. Laura Jadid applied to ICE under false pretenses, then told readers she'd been hired to criticize the screening practices. DHS confirmed she never advanced behind a tentative selection letter and was never employed by ICE. The next step required disclosures that would reveal her identity and agenda. Instead, she published a false narrative after wasting federal time and resources. Yes, this is what they do. This is what they do. Yeah. This is such a lie. This individual has never offered a job at ICE. Applicants may receive a tentative selection letter following their initial application an interview that is not a job offer. It just means they are invited to submit information for review, similar to any other applicant. A few months ago, ICE hired me, so it's a lie. Yeah, this is a lie. Rate community notes. The agent specifically stated this person was never received a job offer to work at ICE. High quality sources, easy to understand, directly addresses this, provides important context, neutral and unbiased language. Yes. The journalist lied by omission on a job application. As a result, was given a probationary offer for a secretarial job processing paperwork, which he did not accept. I don't believe that. The author applied, didn't complete any of the follow-up steps beyond the initial application. You sure about that? Oh, look. Oh, welcome. You were selective. Tentative offer. Yeah. So she thinks she was onboarding. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. DHS is still saying she was never hired. Sounds she misunderstands the process. Not Slate. Yeah. Look at this. So Tim Burchett reveals that the dirty spending that passed today in the Congress. Yeah. Show me your government pay receipt. Something. You're just in time for more insurrection. Hey, hamburger helper, what's up? Great to see you. Double tap that food. That's what I'm saying, Alex. Get some. So Tim Burchett reveals the dirty spending Congress. It's a whopping $90 billion, and they're sending $1.425 billion to Egypt. If she ever had a job, she'd know the difference between applications and employment. Yeah. Build Jordan a wall, and they're firing missiles at other people. I mean, what the hell, folks? $6.5 billion for foreign military financing program. This is crazy. Whatever happened to America first? All these people, they refuse to support us.
Tim Burchett leaving the House floor in total disgust. Chip Roy's amendment to reduce the District of Columbia Appeals Court funding by 20% and strike the salary and expenses funding of Judge Boasberg and Boardman's staff. And you know that bunch, what they've been pulling, it's ridiculous. They've in my opinion, they've completely got out of whack with what's going on. The next one was my buddy Eli Crane, Navy SEAL, unbelievable guy, one of my favorites up here. He prohibits funding for the National Endowment for Democracy. And that was, I forget how many millions of dollars, and that didn't pass. I don't. I'm so frustrated with this bunch up here. And then, of course, the big bill, it cost $90.1 billion. And guess what? It passed because it had all that garbage in there. It sends $1.425 billion to Egypt, and then we're going to give Jordan build them a wall, and they're firing missiles at other people. What the hell, folks? Excuse my language. $6.15 billion for foreign military financing program. And yeah, they're going to come back and say, oh, they're going to buy a bunch of arms from us. Well, my mama used to say, I don't like making my living off of suffering of others, and that's just pathetic. I don't know. I'm just disgusted with it. We've came up here to do something, and we're not doing it. And they're going to pat themselves on the back. It was less than the last one, but we're funding a bunch of garbage. And it's a lot of this stuff we're funding, actually, when you dig into it, is funding stuff that Trump did away with. So you got to ask yourself, where the heck does the dadgum money go? And nobody's asking those dadgum questions. It's just, to me, it's pathetic, and it's disingenuous to the American public, and we need to start holding people accountable.
That's right.
So, anyway, I'll keep roguing my
get rid of
conscience,
them.
and we'll see what happens. Thank y'all for seeing it.
Yes, thank y'all for coming and checking it out. That's right. Audrey says, that's what I should do, go work on a front line with ICE. I might enjoy that too much. How tall is he? Very tall. You see how he's almost as big as the Lincoln Memorial looked like. Come to my neighborhood. We have one house with 9 cars out in front, and all of them can be gone at one point in the day. I think Tim Burchett might actually be one of the few good ones. Yes. How long has this guy been in office? He never inquired. I wouldn't buy dad gum. Yeah, I don't know. You don't want the gum already chewed by dad. Why are we paying taxes if our government spends it on another country? They're not good stewards of our money, definitely. And angry mob forces Nick Shirley out after he showed up at a local location in Minneapolis that claimed to be a transportation company, only find no transportation company. Do you guys know where Advanced Mobility is? Man, never heard of it.
Do you guys know where Advanced Mobility is? Do you guys know where Advanced Mobility is?
Advanced Mobility?
Yeah, we're looking for it. Never heard of it?
What is this? What is that?
Oh, my name is Nick Shirley. We're just looking for Advanced Mobility. Where's Advanced Mobility at?
We don't care about Advanced Mobility.
That's what we're asking for. All right, we're looking for Advanced Mobility. Nobody can help us right now. We got a whole group of people trying to get us out of here. We're looking for Advanced Mobility.
We don't care about
Advanced Mobility doesn't exist.
Get the fuck out of here, man. Get out. You need to get out. You need to get out. Get out.
Now they're pushing us out of here.
No, wait. They need to get out of our fucking country.
Where's Mobility at?
We don't care about Advanced Mobility.
That's what we're asking for.
Get out. Get out.
Would you like to give a statement on where Advanced Mobility is?
Nope. Go ahead. Get out. We don't care.
So Advanced Mobility is not anywhere here. We're leaving, sir. Would you like to give a statement on what's happening here in Minnesota?
You make stuff up. This is a lie. I don't care. Who do you work for? Who do you work for?
Who do you work for? Who do you work for? Who do you work for?
This is Nick Shirley, sir.
I don't care about Nick Shirley. That's you.
Yes, sir.
But who do you work for?
For Nick Shirley.
I don't care about Nick Shirley.
That's who he's working for today, Nick Shirley.
This is from the state of Minnesota. We don't care about that. Get out of here.
We don't care about
And
that.
see, you guys say I can't film, but look at you guys filming. You can do that. You can film here. Advanced Mobility doesn't exist.
Well, so what was interesting was we walked in there, and on the state's website, it says it's in Suite 224, but it's a one-story building. None of the suites had the number 2 on them. It doesn't exist. And it's been registered since 1999, and it doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist. Wow, look at this. We got a big 20 coming in from John Mosley. Thank you so much, John, for that 20. And with that, that puts us to be $80 away from the second additional hour of the show. Wow, that's great. That's good news. Thank you so much. I think I have to go and correct the goal on YouTube. I think it just ended. Yes, I think it did. Yes. So I have to make a new one here. We're going to start another goal. We're going to make it for 1 hour. 20 super chats, $5 or higher. And this is for whenever $100 in total donations across all platforms, including memberships and gifted memberships. The show will be extended by 1 additional hour. We are currently $80 away from the second additional hour of the show. There we go. We got 1 hour to get $80, and we can go for another hour. That's how it works. So I want to thank everybody. Let's see how we're doing tonight on likes. We haven't had that. We've got 62 likes. That's pretty good considering there's only been 99 was a long time ago. Thank you so much. Thank you. Why are they wearing masks? I thought only the fascists wore masks. That's weird, right? They do that stuff. Is that very weird? It's Boston Tea Party time. Yeah. Gundam says, sorry, so damn late. Visiting mom. She was watching Hallmark and say yes to the dress. Cyanide was looking mighty good. That can be kind of painful, though. He needs men around him, a bunch of them. Yes, he does. Oh, no, Jim will help. That's right. I will help. 1999, who was POTUS back then and who was HUD secretary back then? Slick Willie and King Andy Cuomo. That's right. That's right. Despite Ray Epps' actions on January 6th, and despite him being number 16 on the January 6th most wanted list page for months, his name is mentioned 0 times in the sham J6 committee's 845-page report. 0? Why? Yeah, why? Why is he mentioned 0 times? That's weird.
I know it's been a long time, but remember Ray Epps. Let me introduce you again to Ray Epps. Play the video.
Into the Capitol! Into the Capitol! We are going to the Capitol, where our problems are. It's that direction. Please spread the word.
All right, noted. But one more thing.
Yeah, so can we go up there? No?
When we go in,
Are we going to get arrested if we
leave
go
this
up
here.
there?
You don't need to get shot.
Look at, he whispers in the guy's ear, and that's when everything happens. Wow. I mean, did you notice he whispered in that guy's ear and then told him whatever? Then they did that, and then he goes the other way and walks the other way. He did not go in. Very odd. Very odd. I thought Coach Tatum was supposed to be helping Nick Shirley with the security. I don't know.
The night of January 5th, he is filmed yelling at the crowd that they are going to go into the Capitol, and again on the day in question. He is filmed at the front of the crowd, at the barricades, just before the initial breach. He whispers something into the ear of the guy next to him, and that guy initiates the breach. Then later at 2:43 p.m., a red flare goes up. 2:45 p.m., red smoke pops, and at 2:46, Ray Epps is in video being extracted from the crowd of an eight-man team, even though he was allegedly alone that day. Play that clip.
Every three-letter guy I know that was at January 6th, we all saw the same things happening. We all knew that this was an operation.
Ray Epps whispered. We don't know what he said to the
footage
guy.
on top of the Capitol, and if you fast forward it and watch it, you really do see movement of individuals. You just see them moving through the crowd. The red smoke pops, and when Epps starts to leave, he's got 4 people in front of him and 4 people behind him, and they literally get him the hell out of there. They go behind the media and then just disappear. They said he was there by himself, or with his nephew also. They got separated. You know, if he was there by himself, then why are 4 guys leading him out and 4 guys following? It's plain to see. It's obvious.
Now, despite Epps' actions on that day, and despite him being number 16 on the January 6th Most Wanted page for months, his name is mentioned 0 times in that 840-page document. 0.
0 times. Wow, that's odd. Isn't that odd? 0 times? He's on the Most Wanted list for all that time? And 0 times. 0.0. Mr. Blutarski. Yes. That's just insanity. It really is. It's really, really, really insane. So, Democrat California Rep Ted Lieu. There is a story coming up. We'll get to it in a second about this, but Democrat Rep Ted Lieu indicates Bill and Hillary Clinton should be arrested for ignoring their subpoenas. 2020 is not over yet. Thank God retribution is coming. I only survived the Biden era by keeping my head buried in the sand. Toga, toga, toga. Reporter Steve Bannon, yes, and Peter Navarro were arrested for failing to comply with subpoenas that were issued by Congress regarding January 6th. Do you know what the Clintons are refusing to show up for subpoenas? The same thing had for them. Everyone should comply with congressional subpoenas. I'll leave it up to the enforcement of the subpoenas to what we have in the law right now, which is the Department of Justice. So that's my position. Everyone should comply with congressional subpoenas. You know what I've always loved? The truth. And finding out all the truth about what really happened and is happening is glorious. Janet Hill says, I'm watching on TV, but I hit the like button for you. Thank you. Hello, Bella. Well, thank you. Thank you for being a friend. Ray, FedEps, when you positively need to cause a riot overnight. That's right.
Steve Bannon and Peter Navarro were arrested for failing to comply with subpoenas that were issued by Congress regarding January 6th. Do you think now that the Clintons are refusing to show up for their subpoenas, the same should be had for them?
Everyone should comply with the congressional subpoena.
So should they be arrested, the Clintons?
Everyone should comply with the congressional subpoena, and I'll leave it up to the enforcement of that subpoena to what we have in law right now, which is the Department of Justice. So that's my position. Everyone should comply with the congressional subpoena.
Wow. I'm surprised that Ted Lieu actually said that. We got this right here. It says, if you think Comer won't send a criminal referral the moment the hearing is over next week and neither Bill or Hillary showed up, you don't know a thing about him. Jim is a golden boy. Stay golden, pony boy. Stay golden. Do it for Johnny. Do it for Johnny. He carefully never says they should be treated equally. Yeah, he doesn't say that. He doesn't use those words. Yes. Hell, the current U.S. attorney is Jeanine Pirro. She does not even have to wait for a criminal referral from Comey. Bondi won't do a thing. Well, maybe Jeanine Pirro will. It's clearly established law now, thanks to Bannon Navarro, that defying a congressional subpoena to appear is a federal crime. She doesn't need a referral from Comer to act on this. Notice all the freaking dumb social media influencers out there wants to become experts on all things and already freaking out that Pam Bondi won't do anything. Yeah, the woman is such a disappointment. Yes, she is. Poor Ted Lieu. Clintonitis is always fatal. Yes, it is. Listen carefully. I know what I'm talking about. I'm not pretending here to have expertise I do not actually possess to farm outrage clicks, grow my brand and bank account. Pay attention. There's no wiggle room here for the Clintons if they try to go through defying their subpoenas. None. All at all. Zero. Bubkiss. No gray areas. It was exclusively hashed out 3 years ago. You know how I know that? Because I followed both Bannon and Navarro's attempts to challenge the legitimacy of the J6 committee subpoenas. I read the filings. I followed the rulings. Well, here's the thing. The only problem with this is that you think that these judges in the District of Columbia, these tyrannical lower court inferior judges won't just change their mind and rule completely different. You think they're going to actually follow their own precedent. They're going to say, well, we could change our mind. That was different because it's big D for different. Bannon's lawyer tested every single possible avenue for arguing against the J6 committee that it was illegally formed. In fact, it was true, and therefore the subpoena he got was no legal force. The D.C. courts heard Bannon's lawyers out and then said it didn't matter, and the court wasn't going to rule on whether or not Nancy illegally formed the committee and violated the House's own rules. She did. The court refused to even look at whether or not Nancy dotted all the I's and crossed the T's in forming the committees. They said it was irrelevant, and they're not going to rule on that either. And because the court did not rule on the legitimacy of the committee, it ruled that the subpoena was a true legal document, and if it's enforceable and defying it, refusing to appear is a crime. So Comer's just been waiting for this, or he looks happier than a pig in shit that they didn't show up. The Clintons have a lot to answer for, so do the Obamas. This is federal law. The D.C. courts have said repeatedly in their rulings, irrespective of how the J6 committee was formed, a subpoena from that committee was a legal and enforceable document, and therefore both Bannon and Navarro were ordered to appear. It was worse than that. Both of those people, I believe, claimed immunity. Claimed privilege, executive privilege. That they don't, that they've got executive privilege. We don't have to testify. You can't ask us these questions about what the discussions were, internal discussions of the executive branch. So I'm sure, there'll be some claim like that Hillary Clinton's protected by executive privilege because she was the Secretary of State or some craziness. When they continued to defy their subpoenas after the federal court ruled they must comply or they would be committing a crime, the D.C. U.S. attorney at the time, a shitheel named Matthew Graves, immediately issued an indictment for both of them, had them arrested and took them to trial, convicted both of them, and had them sent to prison. Now, how much success do you see the Clintons' lawyers having trying to argue that the House committee issued a subpoena wasn't legally formed? Who knows? Maybe they'll say, maybe these tyrannical judges will say that nothing is legitimate because Republicans are in charge, and whenever Republicans are in charge, it means that elections were stolen or something. That's what they'll come up with. It was they didn't win the popular vote or some crazy argument. The subpoena has no legal force and is therefore enforceable. Defying the subpoena appears to not be a federal crime. I put the chances of the Clintons' lawyers being able to successfully make the case in federal court with Jeanine Pirro at about 0.00034%. I don't know. Lenny Liu, not really. I know frying cakes for years. Takes what he's saying with a grain of salt. He said to trust Sessions. How did that work out? These lawyers are boxed in already even before they start to argue about this. Yeah, but see, it was never... Just because a district court ruled something, they don't have to keep ruling that same way. District courts don't set precedent. Only appeals courts set precedent. And then the Supreme Court also. Pam Bondi isn't directly in charge of charging decisions. It's Jeanine Pirro. She will, of course, tell Bondi what she's going to do. About to get a tidal wave of social media influencers who either don't know anything about how it actually works or are just messing with your mind for clicks, insisting Pam Bondi won't charge if Comer sends a referral. Well, here's the thing. If Pam Bondi won't charge if the referral comes, then Pam Bondi needs to be fired immediately. Remember how both Sessions and Barr were under constant siege being investigated under the claims they interfered with old Bob Mueller's special counsel and then John Durham's special counsel? Yeah. Remember when Mueller and Andrew Weissman made the absolutely stunning and extraordinary choice to kick a charging decision up the chain to Bill Barr and Rod Rosenstein? That truly exotic reading of a federal statute where they wanted to charge a sitting U.S. president with obstruction of justice, but they decided they didn't want to make that charging decision themselves, so they kicked it upstairs to the Attorney General. Do you actually remember any of this happened? The Attorney General does not make charging decisions on cases for presidentially appointed U.S. attorneys. Pam Bondi, no offense here, Pam, in this regard, is a glorified office manager at corporate HQ. Janine Pirro is making the charging decisions at the U.S. Attorney's Office in D.C. For Pam Bondi to get caught interfering or dictating and unduly attempting to influence a charging decision would create a massive scandal. When they finally issue something and get the ball rolling on to pull out the good tequila. Sounds good to me. You spent 8 years watching fake news trying to engineer these kind of scandals when Sessions and Barr and Rosenstein when there was nothing there. Rosenstein was a piece of crap. The biggest scandal right now is going to be how the Jack Smith Council was run. Was it? What is it? Is that the Smith Special Counsel wasn't really independent? Garland and Biden were illegally influencing the investigation? That's the real massive scandal. Now our side, who still doesn't pay attention and still doesn't know how any of this actually works, is about to be hit with a tidal weight of mis and disinformation about, oh my God, that bitch Pam Bondi is going to sit on the criminal referral for the Clintons, isn't she? Over here laughing. Join me. Okay. Yes. Yes. Democrats only want to get Trump. That's all they want to do. There's Ted Lieu. We saw that. Okay. It says, here's Byron Donald says, despite the position Bill and Hillary Clinton held in the government, they are now private citizens. They must answer their subpoenas. If they want to play games, hold them in contempt of Congress, take the vote of the House, send the criminal referrals to DOJ. I don't have confidence that the House will vote to hold them in contempt. I think you're going to have the same rhino pieces of crap that voted to keep the funding going to National Endowment of Democracy, that voted to keep the funding going to Judge Boasberg. Yeah. I think those same people are going to probably vote with their buddies, the Demon Rats. I was going to say hit the like, but it looks like we've gotten 66, 67. Well, here's the thing, though. Some of those people might not be here anymore, so I don't know if everybody here has hit the like button. I keep dropping my phone today. I don't know why. I don't know what the hell's going on with me. I keep dropping my phone. I guess I'll just put it over there. If our founding fathers knew the politicians became multimillionaires off the citizens, they would rise from their graves. Yes, they would. They definitely would. Yeah, so please hit the like if you haven't already. It says 66 when I just looked. So anyway. Steve Hilliard says, Audra, have you ever seen anything come from a Comer investigation? I've never seen anything come from any frickin' investigation, to tell you the truth. The Kate bros are questionable. I and others have been poking holes in their theories for a while. Every so often they hit on something, but a broken clock is right twice a day. Mine still says 12 likes. You have to refresh. It'll tell you how many are there. I ball so hard they thought I was a nutsack. Trump. That's right. I saw a video of ICE vehicles being looted. Where? Where? Do I have to go back and look at the video? I guess I can go back. It's that simple. Let's see, Byron Donalds.
Despite the positions they've held in our country, they are now private citizens, and they have a responsibility to acknowledge and respond and show up to a subpoena the same way any American citizen has a responsibility to show up when a subpoena is issued by the House of Representatives. So, I mean, Hillary, if you want to play games, play games. But if you choose to play those games and say what your husband did, then we'll issue a contempt order for you as well. Despite the positions they've held in our country, they are now private.
Yeah, they're private citizens. Private citizens. They're private dancers. This story, we're going to get to this in a second. Well, let's see if there's anything going on.
All right, you've been listening to Mayor Jacob Fry and Minneapolis Police Chief Brian O'Hara address the public about.
I was not sharing that. Sorry, I was not sharing that. No one is above the law. Private citizens being protected by our tax dollars by Secret Service. Go get them. Yes, it was nice knowing you, Byron. Just so you know, Gundam, this does not open. It does not open. I can't open this. I don't have access. It does not open. It says I can show you what it says. It says, this does not exist. Try searching for something else. So let's go back to this. We'll share this. I wish I could rewind this.
Played out at 7 o'clock tonight. There is this big crime scene, and you just heard MPD and the mayor talking about how they've been trying to preserve the integrity of the crime scene, how they have Bureau of Criminal Apprehension, the FBI investigating, in addition to MPD being on the scene tonight.
A couple different themes out of this, one from Chief O'Hara, one from Mayor Fry. I'll start with Chief O'Hara. He said three things right off the bat. Essentially said to those protesters out there, you are engaging in unlawful acts. Unlawful assembly has been identified with this one.
Oh, so there's the cars they're looting.
You are to leave the scene immediately. He was very pointed about that, and he reiterated it as well. And Mayor Fry, he started out saying this is unsustainable. What he was referencing was this relationship between his law enforcement officers and ICE agents and Border Control, and that is essentially that they're outnumbered. He's got his officers, some 600, working to quell things. At the same time, some 3,000 ICE agents and border officers are working the streets as well.
Send in the military if it's unsustainable.
Relationship.
Send in the military.
Governmental agencies, entities fighting each other were his words.
Oh, okay. So that's insurrection.
He says the federal
they're fighting
agents
each
are
other.
creating chaos.
Oh, so they're fighting each other. He admitted that. So it's insurrection. So you send in the military and arrest all of them.
911 calls that come into the city. Compare that to the 2,000 to 3,000 ICE agents that are present in the metro right now. And again, saying the words, we have two government entities that are fighting.
Wow, look at all these
another.
people wearing masks.
This
I
is
thought
not
wearing masks are
sustainable.
fascists.
The police chief saying that the people out there tonight creating an unlawful assembly that has to stop. He says that there are people throwing ice, rocks, launching fireworks at officers on the scene. And again, they are trying to maintain the integrity of the crime scene. One thing that is different from last week is that they say that BCA, the Bureau of Criminal Apprehension, state investigators are working with the FBI on this investigation at this point.
I will say the mayor has been consistent in his messaging to the general public, to those protesters who are not towing the line. He said, and this was a direct reference to anyone out there listening, he says, for anyone taking the bait, and they've said before, don't take the bait. Don't put yourselves in a position that others will want to take advantage of you. But he said tonight, for anyone taking the bait tonight, stop. You are not helping the situation. He's then referring to the ones that are getting across the line, breaking the law, engaging in unlawful assembly, and engaging in unlawful acts, according to the police chief.
And the governor tonight, before he knew that all of this was playing up, because it was happening while he was addressing the public in a pre-planned address at 7 o'clock, he asked for calm, asked people to continue to be calm and peaceful when they are out on the streets. He did ask for them to observe what's happening and to use their cell phone to record and be witnesses, but to be peaceful and calm. And Mayor Jacob Fry saying that again tonight, taking some questions about that too, about whether or not his words over the last week have elevated the situation. And he says, I have continued to ask people to stay calm and that we can't get through this essentially without calm. And so we did see some chaos out at the scene there tonight with the groups that were gathering. We're trying to get a sense now of the scene. We do have an aerial shot that's back up, and just how we're trying to get a sense of how busy this neighborhood still is, or if people have sort of dispersed at this point.
And we are hearing it's dicey on the scene right now. We are trying to get our reporters back in position, but I'm going to be really honest with our viewers right now. It's not a good situation for reporters there at this hour, despite the calls for peace, the calls for people to go home. Not sure if those calls have even reached the crowd yet. Probably not. In fact, this is an opportunity.
Oh, remember when they said all the stuff about January 6th, that Trump, that Trump incited the crowd when it already happened before he was speaking, all that? Yeah, be careful. Snowball started the Boston Massacre. Yeah, it did. Federal officers are holding off on using sonic Billy Joe songs as weaponry. Yes, definitely. So isn't this what Walz wanted? Yeah, their job is to cause chaos. Yeah, who talked them into to change their tune? Who has talked to them to get them to change their tunes? I don't think they've changed their tunes. The police chief is like, they're committing crimes in front of him. You can't say they're not. You know what I mean? And probably the police chief has probably got a visit from the Department of Justice and basically told, you're not enforcing the laws. You're violating other people's rights by the way you're enforcing the law. And the federal government can step in and actually take over the police department, put them under what it's called a consent decree, and basically, which, the National Guard, their National Guard is in support of MPD, so that won't work. They drink the same Kool-Aid. Idiots like the mayor love to pretend the cameras don't exist and their previous statements were already broadcast. Yeah. That darn Kool-Aid will get them. Yeah. Death metal bands coloring ABBA should do the trick. Yeah, Spuds, no, don't do that. These statements are just a thin effort to cover their asses from the incitement charges, which should already come, but probably won't. Yeah. Couldn't they have a curfew? Yeah, if they already were told it's a unlawful assembly, they should have a curfew, definitely.
Providing accurate information if she as a public official could get that, and Maury told us that he didn't run into anybody who had witnessed it, and people were just watching at that point, and nobody around him really knew what had happened. They just knew that ICE officials were on the scene. So let's just listen to a little bit of our interview with the city council member earlier tonight. I would say this was about 8:30 when we talked with her.
So I arrived here just a little bit ago. I was getting constituent calls that there was a shooting in North Minneapolis, and it's not, I come to these things. I got over here and I realized that it was ICE involved, and so I've been here now. The tear gas is out here. Everyone's running and scared because that's some powerful stuff.
When you got here, what initially did you see and what was happening when you arrived?
When I got here, they were saying they were trying to get someone out of the house, that there's a house on this block that someone had been shot in, and they were trying to get them out.
I know the city had released or tweeted a statement saying that they were aware of reports of a shooting involving federal agents, but that no Minneapolis police or local agencies were involved in that. Have you heard that or read that as well?
Not Minneapolis police involved. Minneapolis police is here to make sure that the residents and folks are safe. They're definitely not involved, and I think now the BCA is on the scene and ICE is trying to clear out.
What are your thoughts about what you're seeing, and if these reports are true, if this is another person that...
It's just so scary, and there's so much misinformation that goes out, and then there's real things happening.
Yeah, you're the people putting out the misinformation.
Scarier and scarier for people. I know for me, the calls I got from my constituents, everyone was scared. This isn't the ward that I represent, but people want someone to show up and let them know what's going on.
And what's your purpose in being here? What are you trying to do?
My purpose is to come together with folks and get the situation calmed down, to make sure people are getting the right information and that we don't see more, bad things happening because people think something else is going on that's not going on. I think having key information is important in these times.
And what's the message? Have you been hearing from people who were here, and has anybody said they saw what happened?
Nobody, I haven't heard from anyone saying they saw what happened, but I'm just hearing from people that they're really scared.
All right, and that was Maury Glover that you were listening to about 8:30 tonight, talking to Minneapolis City Council member Letitia Vitaw about her reasons for coming down there and trying to get some information about what happened in this ICE agent-involved shooting from earlier tonight.
I'm not an expert on aerial views, but it appears that we do know that law enforcement has left the scene. Presumably ICE would follow or precede them in leaving the scene, because typically that's what quells gatherings like this. When ICE leaves, then the the others leave as well. Law enforcement, we're told, did in fact leave, and we did see some flashing lights that were leaving that area, and you can see a line of cars there now to the left side of your screen. Barely, there you go, the chopper's moving back over. But it looks to us from this vantage point that the scene is changing. And by changing, I mean that law enforcement seems to have left the scene, at least, I would say, except for the exception of those who might be right at the scene of the crime, where we now know they are, the BCA and the FBI are investigating this actively even now.
The police chief saying tonight in this news conference that just wrapped up a short time ago that he has faith in the investigators at the scene.
All right, let's see. I think I have this. Let's see. This says, let's see. This says another ICE involved shooting. Officials give an update. So let's see if this is. Watch on YouTube.
Minneapolis Police Chief. At 6:51 p.m., Minneapolis police received a 911 call reporting a shooting on the 600 block of 24 Avenue North. Preliminary information indicates that there was a struggle with a federal agent in front of the resident.
Can you guys hear it?
During the struggle, the federal agent discharged his weapon, striking one adult male. The adult male then retreated inside of the residence, where he remained inside and refused to come out. Eventually, federal agents made entry into the residence, and the individual was brought to an ambulance where he has been transported to the hospital. Minneapolis police have secured the crime scene around the location, and the Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension, as well as the FBI, are on the scene processing the evidence. There's a crowd gathered in the area, and we have called for mutual aid from the Minnesota State Patrol and Hennepin County Sheriff. The crowd is engaging in unlawful acts. They have thrown fireworks at police officers, and at multiple times, gas has been deployed. Police are attempting to disperse this unlawful assembly at this time.
Oh, what do you know?
I urge anyone that is at the scene to leave immediately. This is already a very tense situation, and we do not need this to escalate any further. I have faith that the investigators are involved will follow every lead in this case and ensure it is completed to its logical conclusion.
There's still a lot that we don't know at this time, but what I can tell you for certain is that this is not sustainable. This is an impossible situation that our city is presently being put in. And at the same time, we are trying to find a way forward, to keep people safe, to protect our neighbors, to maintain order. And we're in a position right now where we have residents that are asking the very limited number of police officers that we have to fight ICE agents on the street, to stand by their neighbors. We cannot be at a place right now in America where we have two governmental entities that are literally fighting one another. Why are we put in this position? We're put in this position because we have approximately 600 police officers in Minneapolis, far fewer that are able to work at any given time. And there are approximately 3,000 ICE agents in the area.
So is he saying, do you think he's saying that if he had more cops, he would fight ICE, but that he's outnumbered so they can't fight him because they would lose? Is that what he's saying? Because that's kind of what it sounds like. Yeah, if they would just turn the criminal aliens over to ICE at the courthouses, ICE wouldn't be in the neighborhoods. That needs to keep being pointed out. It's time to rip off the scab and let it happen. That's right. Just get it on. Let's get it on. Absolutely. Yes. There's way too much happening in Minnesota. What the fuck is wrong with that state? Oh, great, this dork. Anyone at the scene is not watching this presser. Oi, the mayor, the insurrectionist. Yes. Old age is catching up, I think. Yes. Could be. What's wrong with Frey's neck? Acne or hickeys? Who knows? Maybe it's shingles. He's saying it's not our fault. Yeah. I'm doing my best to keep ahead of that. Hubby just turned 60. I'm not far behind. Lie to me, Fry. Yeah. Fry, Bueller, because we have the corporation and the republic. Yeah, look at those lips. Yeah. Well, good news, Mayor. We don't have two entities fighting. Stick to this rhetoric and find out. Yeah. We won't, because you have not been following the Fed laws and you refuse to. Sounded like that. It's understandable. At least you're not suffering from what we are. Cedar fever here in Central Texas is harsh this time of year. He looks like a drug addict in that still. Yeah, he does kind of look like he's all strung out, right? Yeah, man, taking pride. I'm the mayor and I smoke crack with fucking Willie Brown. Or, no, not Willie Brown. What was his name? Fuck it. Marion Barry. And that's a dirty pose for Fry, yeah.
3,000. The 600 police officers that we have are charged on any given day with investigating crime, stopping homicides from taking place, preventing carjackings. That's the work of a police officer in a city. Meanwhile, we have ICE agents throughout our city and throughout our state who, along with Border Control, are creating chaos.
Oh, it's Border Control. Creating chaos. Border
This
Patrol.
is not the path that we should be on right now in America. Thankfully, there's another path. And I want to talk to everybody who's out there, even people who aren't living in Minneapolis right now. Maybe you just put your kids to bed. Maybe you're cleaning up the dishes. I'm sure you love your family. There's no doubt in my mind that you love your town. Imagine if that city or that town was suddenly invaded by thousands of federal agents that do not...
Hey, fuckface. You weren't invaded by anybody. You are part of the United States of America. I don't know if you don't believe that or you think you're not. You weren't invaded. They came in to enforce the law. They're always there. They're part of the community. They are part of the United States of America. They belong there. Maybe you belong in prison. Yeah, here comes the emotional manipulation. It's all they have. Maybe you haven't showed out to the fraud-ridden smellies, Fry. Yeah, the path to communism. Did they defund the police? They defunded the police, and they had a mass exodus of the police after they railroaded Derek Chauvin. Special coverage. President Trump participates in signing. Hey, fuckface. Yeah, I'm sorry. How about hundreds of the thousands Somalian? Yeah, sounds like secession to me. Yeah, he belongs to Bubba. He's no Al Pacino. You were invaded by illegals, dipshit. Yeah, that's right. What is that, Alex? Is that... Let me look at what this is. Oh, the whole milk thing? Yeah, I got that. All right. Okay. Yeah, so... yeah, Chauvin. Yeah, they railroaded Chauvin. So that's what they want to do again? I mean, that's why they lost all the police officers.
share the values that you hold dear. Imagine if your daily routines were disrupted. The local cafe that you eat at was shut down because they're scared that their own family might get torn apart. Imagine if schools shut down and suddenly parents got to figure out what to do for daycare.
Whoa! Wait. So who shut the schools down? Wait, and you want to talk about daycare? You've got thousands of bogus Somali daycare places with no kids. So go pound sand, mother.
Not creating safety.
He needs to be arrested already.
It's certainly not creating safety when a huge percentage of the shootings that have taken place so far this year in Minneapolis have been by ICE.
Oh.
So let's be very clear. I've seen conduct from ICE that is disgusting and is intolerable. If it were your city, it would be unacceptable there too. And for anyone that is taking the bait tonight, stop. That is not helpful. Go home.
Yeah. It was very disgusting of ICE to get beaten by 3 guys with weapons. Yeah. The balls are bringing up daycare. Yeah. Yeah. Has he had too much nose candy? I don't know. I hear there's really good nose candy in Minnesota. No, Fry. I voted for this. It's welcome 100% in my city. That's right.
counter Donald Trump's chaos with our own brand of chaos. And I have seen thousands of people throughout our city peacefully protesting. For those that have peacefully protested, I applaud you. For those that are taking the bait, you are not helping, and you are not helping the undocumented immigrants in our city. You are not
illegal
helping the
aliens.
people that call this place home. ICE can leave, and this massive deployment can come to an end.
Not until we get them all.
Litigation to hopefully make it so, and at the same time, I'm deeply concerned that we don't have that kind of time. This is already the second shooting that we've had in a week.
Oh, well, stop having people attack them.
The atmosphere is tense, but again, there is another option. We can stop going down this route together. We'll open it to any questions.
So there were reports initially that there was more than one person shot. That is not true. There is one person that's been shot. It is a non-life-threatening injury, and they have been transported to the hospital. The remainder of the residents has been cleared. We did have one call of, I believe, a woman having an anxiety attack in the basement of the same residence, the same building. But to my understanding, no one else has been transported to the hospital.
And no children involved in this?
To my understanding, no.
DHS has said that 2 other people came out of an apartment and started attacking the officer with shovels, and that the original person that they were looking for also did that. What has your investigation told you so far?
So the question was that people had come out of the residence and attacked federal law enforcement with shovels. The understanding that we have at this time is that this incident began on 94. The individual drove towards the residence, had some sort of accident outside the residence, ran towards the house, and got into a struggle with federal law enforcement. There is I believe there's a broom and like a snow shovel that's on the scene. And yes, I have heard information that that some individual, at least one person.
That is a roundabout weasel way to say, yes, 2 people came and attacked the agent, so it was 3 people beating an agent with objects. Holy shit, man. Yeah, the balls of this idiot bring up peaceful protesting when the last peaceful protest burned the city down and they did nothing. Yeah, you can leave. Yeah, see, that's what they did. They abandoned the police station. They just left, and then it got burned to the ground, and all this other stuff happened. Yeah, leaving no longer an option, jackhole. Gay men pretending to be straight are dangerous. The obsession with illegals is all based on hatred and need to oppose Trump. Yeah. Maybe she shouldn't be exciting their own people. Jacob Frey, kosher Nostra. Yeah. She is shaking real bad. Yeah. I have to view him as an actor meant to wake up normies. Prefer not to feed the louche if I can help it.
Person may have assaulted federal law enforcement. Yes. I am not aware if that's the same person who was shot or if that's someone else.
Will MPD be doing its own investigation of what happened?
The question was, will MPD be doing an investigation of what happened? I requested the Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Investigation, Criminal Apprehension to respond, and they are on scene.
And you were saying that there was unlawful protesting. Can you be a little bit more specific?
The question was about unlawful protesting. It has absolutely become an unlawful assembly. There are individuals throwing fireworks at police officers, individuals throwing ice, rocks, other projectiles at police officers. It is well past the line, and people need to leave.
What kind of communication, if any, of you had with federal law enforcement tonight?
The question was communication with federal law enforcement tonight. That communication was all on the scene. It was primarily related to trying to ensure that we were getting medical aid because we had a report of a shooting, and then also to try and ensure that we could maintain the integrity of the crime scene so that there could be an investigation into what occurred.
Do you know what the the condition of the person shot is, and we're also told that agent was injured and taken to the hospital. Do you have any updates on either condition?
I have no updates on either condition. It's my understanding that this is a non-life-threatening gunshot wound.
Can you talk about anything you know about that initial stop that started on 94, that initial chase, if you will, and anything you know about the person that they were following?
So I know nothing about the person that they were following. And then the rest of the question was about the initial chase. It's my understanding that we have some other 911 call indicating that someone from the house was calling, saying that the person in the car was running from ICE. I was driving towards the residence. That's my understanding.
Did Mayor Fry respond to criticism that local officials are contributing to riot?
Fireworks with the power of mortar shells. Yeah, they're throwing giant, whatever you want to call them, commercial grade fireworks, which could kill people. Was there only one ICE agent there? I think it was at one time. It was maybe one ICE agent that was chasing them down. I'm not sure. It's what it sounds like. One guy being beaten. Normies are popcorn eaters. They sit back as everything burns down around them. Yeah. So the chief admitted that ICE are police officers. Yeah. Is he saying that people need to stop throwing frozen water bottles at ICE? Well, yeah, he's saying that. But, YouTube censoring Joe unless you have live chat selected when you can strip Google of their Section 230 protections over this editorial manipulation. No, there was a team and support was applied quickly. Okay. Can President Trump do the insurrection now? He can do it anytime he wants. I'm a little confused. Me too. I'm confused too. All right. I'm confused too.
Rhetoric, and that's part of the reason why we're perceived as protesters.
What rhetoric? So the question was, can I respond to rhetoric? What rhetoric?
Says that there's rhetoric from local officials that they say has just kind of taken up the temperature of everything that's going on.
So the question was, there has been the accusation that local officials have perhaps taken up the temperature in Minneapolis. First, I'll say, show me a single place where I have encouraged anything other than peace. Show me a single place where we have encouraged violence. I have said from the get-go to people in Minneapolis, do not take the bait. We are better than that. I have encouraged peaceful protest, and I'll say it again, I am inspired by the tens of thousands of people who have in fact peacefully protested and fairly documented with transparency what is taking place. That is allowed in any city in the country. And I have made it clear that to the extent people are going beyond that, and those protests are not peaceful, and the violence that the chief mentioned, it's got to stop, and you got to go home.
Two more questions. If this situation is not sustainable, as you said a few minutes ago, where do you go from here? What options do you as mayor have from this point forward?
Yeah. So just yesterday or the day before, I'm losing track of the days here, Minneapolis, along with St. Paul and the Attorney General's office at the state, filed a lawsuit. That lawsuit outlined the duress that our city is presently experiencing and how making people safe in our city is made all the more difficult based on the presence of ICE. We are hopeful that we will succeed ultimately in that lawsuit. Of course, my concern
you won't
is
succeed
that
in the
yet another
lawsuit.
Shooting will take place. Yet another person will be injured or killed. This is not a new concern. The chief and I have been laying this concern out for well over a month at this point. This is not sustainable. Our officers, they are working tirelessly. Again, we have about 600 officers. There's about 3,000 ICE agents and border control. We need our officers responding to the basic day-to-day 911 calls. We don't have the capacity to both deal with that and all of this conduct that we're seeing from ICE on the daily basis.
So there he is. That's him right there inciting it. All the conduct we're seeing from ICE. So he's claiming they're breaking the law. Somehow ICE is doing something wrong by enforcing federal law. Arrest this man. Arrest this man. He is in open insurrection. He's declared sedition from the government. He declared that he no longer belongs to the United States of America, that he is his own sovereign. Maybe he thinks he's the emperor of Minneapolis-stan or something. Arrest this man. It's not like these people have stuff to hide or obfuscate such that they don't give a clear picture of anything. Yes, they're fucking liars, all of them. Yes. What got censored? I don't think anything got censored. These are the authorities to trust, not in your world. The whole chat, unless you have live chat picked over to the default chat, they don't want it peaceful. No, he's just saying, his president would do, so should I. Yeah. Like I said, this ICE's conduct. Oh, enforcing the law. I have encouraged neither violence nor peace. Yes. I'm going to say it. I loathe this mayor. Yeah. He accused ICE and them of invading his city. Yeah. Hey, YouTube. Here it is again. Yeah. We saw it already. Yeah. Loathing is probably not harsh enough for this piece of shit. Yeah. The violent gets the media coverage and ratings. He's a Trudeau wannabe. Yeah. It's all the demon rats in authority positions. They are all traitors. Yes, they're all traitors. How about now? Yeah, I saw it. A lawsuit. Yeah, supremacy clause. You dimwit. Yeah. So they might get a lower court, inferior, tyrannical judge to say, "Oh yeah, stop." There's no way that stands up. And I would arrest if a judge said you can't enforce federal law. If a judge tried to order that, I would arrest the judge immediately. And call him, basically say you're an open insurrection. Invoke the Insurrection Act and start arresting judges and arrest these people. Yeah, they're using violence to try to drive ICE out. That's what they're trying to do. It says your last two show up if I flip back to top chat. Typical YouTube BS. I guess YouTube only accepts the opinion that the mayor is a straight man. Maybe. Afraid join a Somali clan to win. He's not American anymore. He's Somali. Yeah, he's acting like Jefferson Davis. Yes, he is. It's all part of the plan. Like the neutral planet from Futurama. If I die, tell my wife I said hello. Yeah. The reporters won't call him on his BS because he'll just give a word salad answer. The problem is the judiciary is also compromised. Yes, that's why you do what Lincoln did. You invoke the Insurrection Act and you start arresting the judges that are violating the Constitution.
Here today and yesterday, I was out on a couple of major commercial corridors in our city. People are scared.
You're making them scared. You're telling them
basic rights.
He's making them scared because he's running around telling these people that ICE is breaking the law, that ICE is violating people's rights. He's doing that.
People are scared. There's basic rights that you should have to be able to live safely in your neighborhood, to be able to go downstairs and head to the cafe or the flower shop. The people that would normally keep up these shops, American citizens, by the way, many of them, are terrified. Because American citizens are getting picked up off the street by people in masks.
That's bullshit. The only American citizens that are getting picked up are the ones who attack ICE, interfere, the ones who break the law. American citizens are not getting deported.
That's not the way things should be conducted in any city in America. That's not who we are. That's not America. So I'm calling for peace. Everybody has a role in achieving that peace. And we're going to try to do everything that we can to keep it. Yes, our office, yes, is in touch with the governor's office, as we've been for the last week here. He has been an excellent partner in both ensuring that we have additional resources through the Minnesota State Patrol, through the Bureau of Criminal Apprehension, and that work will be done in partnership. Thanks, everybody.
We'll have more information tomorrow that we'll put out. Thank you.
So that's this asshole. Yeah. But hey, look at this. Democrat Senator John Fetterman comes out in full support of ICE deployment nationwide. Round up all the criminals, deport them. They definitely have to go. Don't let liberals fool you. This is a majority opinion in America.
Border, and it was skyrocketing, and it's like, that's unsustainable. When you reach almost 300,000 people, that's unsustainable, and we need to, as a Democrat, it shouldn't be unreasonable to want to secure our border and do it in that way. And now let's also talk about ICE. Now, absolutely, again, what happened in Minneapolis was absolutely tragic. And then now, if you think, now this is from the Washington Post, this is the latest statistics. These are people that ICE now are, it's like now 67% have criminal charges, pending ones, or that. So that's more than 2/3. The people now there are some people that aren't involved in any kinds of illegal things, but so me, I think two things can be true. Round up all the criminals, deport them. They shouldn't have ever been here, and they definitely have to go. And now I don't want to see more and more things happening in Minneapolis now too. So two things must be true. And I strongly reject the extreme on either side, about this now. So we must be true. And, I watched you earlier in your show. You just pointed out President Obama deported, millions of people, and there wasn't having the same kind of outrage here, here is from Democrats.
Wow, that's right. All right, everybody, I just want to point out we have on the goal in YouTube, we have roughly 7 minutes remaining. We still have $80 to go for a second additional hour. So, but I don't think I'm going to end immediately. I'm probably going to give it another 30 minutes to see if we can get that second additional hour tonight. Not one reporter asked for names or numbers of Americans deported. Americans get arrested all the time. Yeah, it's nuts, man. It really is. Yes, I would have privateers on standby because they don't fall under posse comitatus. Well, if you invoke the Insurrection Act, there is no posse comitatus. It goes away. My daughter-in-law is an immigrant. There's a difference between an immigrant and an illegal alien. Immigrants come here legally to build a life and to be part of the American fabric. Illegal aliens come here to break the law and to steal. That's why they're here. They come here, that's the purpose. That's their definition. If they were honest and they wanted to be an American, to be part of America, they would do it the right way. They wouldn't come in to skirt the system and find every way to cheat and steal. Well, that's the bottom line. I don't see you in the chat there. I don't care. I have multiple accounts. They won't stop me. Oh, cool. All right. That's cool. Yeah. Look at this. We got this. We got a 67-year-old to spend 4 years in prison after defending himself from a career criminal in New York City. 67-year-old Charles Forner has been officially taken into custody in New York City to start a 4-year prison sentence after defending himself from a repeat offender with 15 prior arrests and a history of mental illness. Charles, who's a retiree with no criminal record, had to sell the home he and his wife owned to pay for legal fees, and he will also be cut off from his Social Security payments while in prison. Despite Americans across the nation reaching out to the district attorney and the judge in his case, Charles was sentenced to 4 years in state prison for criminal possession of a weapon. I thought we had a Second Amendment in the United States.
This is Savannah Hernandez outside of the Queens Criminal Courthouse in New York City, where I just attended the sentencing for Charles Forner, the 67-year-old retiree who was just sentenced to 4 years in prison after defending himself from a 15-time career criminal here in New York City. Now, if you're not familiar with the story of Charles, basically back in 2023, a 15-time career criminal with a history of mental illness ended up threatening him and lunging at him. Charles, who had a handgun in his pocket, which he had, by the way, because of his fears of rising crime throughout the city, ended up pulling out his weapon, telling this man to stop. He did not heed the warning. He continued to lunge at Charles. Charles opened fire and ended up killing him. Now, interesting thing about this case is that the DA of Queens, Melinda Katz, did not bring forth homicide or manslaughter charges because even her office agreed that this was a clear-cut case of self-defense. However, what they did decide to charge Charles for was criminal possession of a weapon, and then after this incident happened, the police went and searched his home, and they found what they stated is an arsenal of unlicensed weapons. And I want to say he had about 30 other guns in his home, and Charles's attorney stated that Charles has been shooting guns since he was a kid. Charles has no criminal history, and he has been around guns his entire life. However, because he was in New York and these were unlicensed, the DA decided to bring forward these charges. Now, something else I want to bring up is there was a case that was very similar to what happened to Charles with a 69-year-old homeless man on a subway in New York who ended up killing somebody in self-defense. Now, this homeless man ended up getting attacked by 5 illegal immigrants, and he used a knife to fight off his attackers, and he ended up stabbing and killing one. Again, Melinda Katz's office decided that this was a clear-cut case of self-defense and decided not to press any charges at all, and that case has since been dropped. Very similar to Charles's case, the main difference here, though, is, of course, the weapon used. Instead of using a gun to defend himself from criminals, this homeless man used a knife, and the DA did not bring forward those charges. So I spoke to Charles's attorney, who was present today, who stated that this is one of the saddest cases that he's ever worked on. To understand how this has impacted Charles, here's what he had to say.
I don't think justice was served on the macro level. You know, we've said consistently, our position is that Charlie is not without fault. He possessed firearms that he wasn't lawfully allowed to possess. The question is one of proportionality. Prosecutors have.
Have you ever heard of this thing called the Constitution of the United States and the Second Amendment? This squarely falls on the United States Supreme Court for not smacking the crap out of places like New York and these other tyrannical commie states who keep thinking they can override the frickin' Constitution. Yes. Remember, people, not allowing self-defense is a communist tactic. They are the end all when it comes to determine if you can defend yourself or not. New York was lost decades ago. According to a state law, which is unconstitutional. Yes, it's unconstitutional. Law-abiding people follow gun laws. Illegals have already proven they are not law-abiding. They all have harsh gun laws, yet criminals still have them in abundance. Yeah, and then if it's a criminal, if he was a criminal, they would have never charged him with the gun charge. They would have dropped it. They only go after the law-abiding people with the bullshit gun charges, which are unconstitutional. Yes, it is sad. Yeah, it's not legal in New York City to have a weapon. New York City does not allow you to have weapons. It's unconstitutional. And the Supreme Court, this falls squarely on their shoulders. Squarely on the U.S. Supreme Court's shoulders for not fixing this. Yeah. Hochul has successfully thumbed her nose at SCOTUS regarding Bruin. Yes. Yeah. I mean, why didn't this, and his lawyer is a piece of shit. And I'll say it to his face if I ever met him. You're a piece of shit, lawyer, because you shouldn't be saying, oh, he's not without fault because he had guns that he wasn't supposed to have. No, he's has the right to have those guns. The constitutional right to have those guns. The law is unconstitutional. And the fact that you didn't make that fucking argument means you suck, lawyer. You suck.
Essentially absolute discretion in these situations. They exercised some of that discretion to give Charlie a sentence that was less than what he would have faced at trial. They exercised some of that discretion and ultimately not charging you with homicide. But the question is whether the ultimate sentence was proportional, whether it was necessary to send someone of Charlie's age, given his lack of history of any violence, the impeccable life he's led, to an upstate prison sentence where we continue in this city and other cities throughout the United States watch recidivist violent offenders given second, third, fourth, fifth chances from the criminal justice system. And in Charlie's case, he was not a person of means. He's lived a very middle-class, working-class lifestyle. As a result of this prosecution, he's had to sell the home that him and his wife had strived for years to finally own. His Social Security benefits, which really, given his age.
Yeah. The Second Amendment, it should mean something. What's more sad is the cowardice of SCOTUS in avoiding 2A cases. Yeah, it's fucking brutal, man. The registering and licensing to carry weapons is unconstitutional. The law is covered in the Second Amendment. Fuck registering handguns and rifles. This lawyer is a failure, saying his client is at fault. Fuck him. Yeah, what a good bootlicking lawyer. Yeah, wow. Does he work for the state? Sure sounds like it. Yeah. How long did they give him? And he lost everything paying this asshole. They gave him 4 years in prison. 4 years in prison for defending himself. How about a special elder was charged on that guy that attacked him? Yeah. With a defense lawyer like that, who needs a prosecutor? Exactly. Exactly. The only reason they didn't lock us up during COVID is because of our Second Amendment. Look at what happened in Australia. That's right. You lost internet for a bit. Well, I'm glad you're back. Agree with Joe on FB. Yeah. He won't live that long. That's sad, right? It's sad.
Make up a disproportionate amount of whatever income he has in retirement will stop while he's in prison. And of course, as I alluded to before, there's the psychological, emotional, mental impact, the separation from family. I've been practicing law and criminal law for 25 years. I've tried cases in Iraq in a courtroom where there were explosive devices going off outside the courtroom. I have never, as a military veteran, I've never seen or been part of a case as sad and as tragic as this one.
Now, the judge in this case stated that Americans have been very vocal about this case, calling her office, leaving voicemails, sending in emails on behalf of Charles. However, she highlighted how she was not responsible for the charges brought forward in this case, again, that rested with the DA and her office.
Well, the judge is responsible for the law in recognizing that the Constitution of the United States of America, the supreme law of the land, protects this man's conduct.
And basically, they had Charles choose between a trial by jury and up to 25 years in prison for these unlicensed handguns and criminal possession of a weapon, or he could take this plea deal.
Oh my God, so this lawyer got him this plea deal. Oh my God, so this lawyer is a real piece of shit. So the lawyer didn't even, oh my God, the lawyer didn't even fucking fight it. He copped a plea. If he'd have died on that street that night, the attacker might have walked out the back door of the courthouse. Yeah. Yeah, the attorney is evil. He wanted to steal everything Charlie earned, and he did. Katz is compromised. Was a bench trial. It turns out it wasn't even a trial. This guy had him plead guilty to it. Yeah. Yeah, the sentence isn't for the conduct. It's for the ownership of unregistered arms. It is unconstitutional to make people register guns in the United States of America. It's unconstitutional. All of these laws are unconstitutional. What a coward.
For a minimum of 5 years in prison that his attorney actually negotiated down to 4. So he was officially sentenced today. He is now in custody, going to be spending 4 years in a state prison after defending himself from a career criminal here in New York City. And one of the most memorable arguments that his attorney brought forward today in these closing statements was that perhaps Charles would not even have had the opportunity to be on the stand today if he didn't have his gun to protect himself. Perhaps it would have been Cody Gonzalez, his assailant with 15 prior arrests and a history of mental illness, who would have been here instead. So an idea of what crime is looking like in New York City, what self-defense is looking like in New York City, and of course, what gun rights look like in New York City.
Wow. Where's the fucking NRA? Where's the fucking, all these gun rights groups? Where's all these people? Why aren't they doing something about this? Why is this? What is going on, man? What is going on? Is that why New York targeted the NRA to force them out of New York? Of course, a plan as fast as you still get paid, and a lawyer is not one thing. Of course, a plea, it's as fast as you still get paid. He's not the one doing the time, so he doesn't give the shit. Do what David does, says Savannah Hernandez. Yeah, she's a cutie. I hate demon rats with the force of 10,000 exploding stars. Why was Gonzalez on the street with 15 prior crimes and mental illness? Yeah, exactly. He'll be out on parole in 4 months, I fearless. No, he won't. He won't. No, because New York will say he's got to do 80% or something with because of guns, because guns are bad. Sav is brave AF to go to NYC. Yes, she is. Yes, she is. Tim Waltz on a live stream in extremely effed up audio tells people to get in the face of ICE agents and record them so it can be used as evidence in future prosecutions. Yeah, this will certainly do a lot to end the chaos in Minnesota.
ICE agents tonight I want to share another way you can help. So carry your phone with you at all times. Help us establish a record. And if you see these ICE agents in your neighborhood, take out that phone and hit record. To peacefully help us create a database of the atrocities against Minnesotans. So carry not just to establish a record for posterity. And if you see these ICE agents in your neighborhood, take out that phone and hit record. The third thing I want to say to you tonight is we will not have to live like this. ICE agents tonight I want to share another way you can help. So carry your.
Well, he's just all screwed up. The audio's all messed up. Yeah, so here's the thing, though, Tim Waltz. I hate to break it to you. The people recording the stuff, yeah, their audio's all fucked up. It's what they said. He didn't even get the audio right. It's all jacked up. That's why Trump was making fun of him. Yeah, I quit giving the NRA money a long time ago, too. I like FPC, Firearm Policy Coalition, and then also Gun Owners of America, GOA, is good. But what if they use the recordings these people make for prosecuting the people making recordings for their breaking the law, what they're doing when they're violating the law, interfering and impeding? What if they do that, huh? How would you feel then, dummy? You big dummy. Let's see. Is there anything else going on live?
Documents.
No. All right. All right. So it's done. There's no more live from them. Let's see. All right. What's this say? U.S. advises some personnel to leave the base in Qatar after Iran threatens retaliatory strikes. Echoing. Yeah, there's nothing I can do about it. That was them. Tim Walz, bless his heart. He can go suck on an egg. Yeah, this is fun, Looney Lou. It is. The U.S. has advised some personnel to leave the military's Al Udeid Air Base in Qatar after Iran threatened retaliatory strikes if Washington intervenes to protect Iranian protesters. According to a news report, the 3 diplomats told Reuters about the advisement for the U.S.'s largest base in the Middle East, which houses around 10,000 troops. Walmart Berry. Okay. Did Jim say base Qatar? Oh, no, the base in Qatar. The base in Qatar. The U.S. Embassy in Doha did not immediately comment, and Qatar's Foreign Affairs Ministry did not immediately respond to Reuters' request for a comment. It's a posture change and not an ordered evacuation, one of the diplomats told Reuters. The person said it was not aware of a specific reason been given for the posture change. A senior Iranian official told Reuters earlier Wednesday that Iran warned regional countries that it would strike U.S. military bases if those countries if in case of a U.S. attack. Tehran told the regional countries like Saudi Arabia, UAE, Turkey that U.S. bases in those countries would be attacked by Iran, asking these countries to prevent Washington from attacking Iran. We call Hakeem Walmart Barry. Okay. President Trump's warning to Iran has included threats of military force. He also warned Iran not to retaliate against the U.S., saying if it did so, the U.S. would respond at levels never seen before. Okay, well, yeah. And this says that the Britain and the U.S. are pulling troops out of Qatar amid fears of an Iranian strike. This is being misreported. Almost no one has left the base. There's no evacuation. There is a rock-solid air defense. The threat is a ground bombing. Just the most vulnerable buildings were cleared. Okay. All right. Ministry of Defense spokesman told GB they did not comment on details of basing and deployment due to security. So So they, even though the people, they won't tell them anything, they're still reporting it. So who knows? Britain is withdrawing some of its personnel from an airbase in Qatar following the lead of the U.S. Military personnel being withdrawn from the Al Udeid airbase, where the RAF is stationed alongside American forces. According to reports, the RAF tanker departed the Akrotiri airbase in Cyprus, heading to Al Udeid, although flight data appeared to show it then headed back towards Europe. A Ministry of Defense spokesman told UB, "We do not comment on the details." Alibaba, dollar store Obama, South Sea Saudis, South Sea Arabia. Timo Obama worked. The UK always puts precautionary measures in place to ensure security and safety. Al Udeid in the Middle East, largest base housing around 10,000 troops. Absence Minus says UK cucks are just cowards and leaving because the UK is mad at the USA. It's not because of a threat. That's just an excuse. I wouldn't doubt it. One diplomat told Reuters it's a posture change and not an evacuation, adding he was not aware of a specific reason. Another diplomat, all signals are that the U.S. attack is imminent, but that's is also how this administration behaves to keep everyone on their toes. Really? Last year, more than a week before the U.S. launched airstrikes on Iran, some personnel and families were moved off air bases in the Middle East. After the attacks in June, Iran launched a missile attack on the base in Qatar. President Trump has repeatedly threatened to intervene to support of the protesters, where thousands of people have been reportedly killed in a crackdown. Also, just reportedly killed. Iran and Western foes have both described the unrest, which began 2 weeks ago, as demonstrations against the dire economic conditions and rapidly escalated in recent days, as the most violent since 1979 Islamic Revolution. So there's that. And then we got this story. At the same time, the same exact time this comes out, is U.S. military opens new air defense coordination cell in Qatar. Qatar has been a key regional partner for the United States and hosted many U.S. troops. CENTCOM announced that the launch of a new air defense coordination cell in Qatar. CENTCOM oversees operations in the Middle East and said the new unit is located at Al Udeid Air Base and will be operated by personnel from the United States and other regional partners. It's called the Middle East Air Defense Combined Defense Operations Cell, and its center is situated within the existing Combined Air Operations Base in Al Udeid Air Base. Over the past 20 years, representatives from 17 nations have helped to coordinate air operations from the Combined Air Operations Center. That action a year ago was a negotiated response with Iran so they could save face when they launched the missiles, and they all but one missed that were intercepted. It says the cell will improve how regional forces coordinate and share air and missile defense responsibilities in the Middle East. Did Jim say Qatar? No, Qatar. Gutter. I think it's either gutter or Qatar. I don't know. I think they used to pronounce it gutter. Now it's Qatar. CENTCOM and its regional partner contended with long-range missile and drone attacks in recent years. In April 24, Iran launched a wave of one-way drones and missiles at Israel in response to an apparent Israeli strike. U.S. forces helped blunt the barrage, with CENTCOM reporting intercepted 80 drones and 6 ballistic missiles. Yeah, it's Qatar. American forces in the region have helped intercept Iranian ballistic missiles. Israel and Iran came to blows in 2025. U.S. forces again helped intercept Iranian attacks targeting Israel. Natives call it Qatar, not Qatar. I thought it was gutter. After U.S. forces struck Iran June 22nd, the airbase came under direct retaliatory attack. U.S. and Qatari air defense forces are raided around the base, defended multiple missiles. Lieutenant General Derek France, who leads CENTCOM's Air Force component, said the new air defense cell creates a consistent venue to share expertise and collectively create new solutions together with our regional partners. I'm pulling Jim's leg all the way from Missouri. Well, don't put me in misery. In addition to providing one of the largest bases for U.S. forces in the region, Qatar also plays an intermediary role for negotiations for a ceasefire. Yes, because Qatar also houses Hamas. I call Qatar, however, it's because I'm an American. However I want, because I'm an American. All right, look at Bella moving around. Look at her go. Where goes Bella? Do 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 do. Got this breaking news: the FBI searched a Washington Post reporter's Hannah Nathanson's home and devices on Wednesday as part of an investigation into a government contractor accused of sharing government secrets. Why does the hair always look like that on these women? FBI raids home of Washington Post reporter who obtained and published illegally leaked information from Pentagon contractor. She did a 180. Yeah, Bella. Bella's Paul looks a little irritated. It could be 270-degree turn. FBI raided a home of Washington Post reporter who obtained classified illegally leaked material. Posing like that and not showing the cleavage is gay. Maybe he doesn't have any. Feds executed a search warrant at the Alexandria, Virginia home of WAPO reporter Hannah Nathanson on Wednesday morning as part of the investigation into a Maryland system administrator who has top secret clearance. FBI seized her cell phone, 2 laptops, and a Garmin watch. Nathanson is not the subject of the investigation. KBT says, is that wrong? The hair? Mine is long, but that looks easy to maintain. There's a reason why women cut their hair short like that. We watched a video about it last night from Home Math. That basically has a lot to do with their politics, and they want to like feminism gone wrong. According to WAPO, Nathanson was at home at the time of the raid. The contractor who stashed the classified documents at his home, Aurelio Perez Lagones, is currently in jail. Oh, I wonder, was he an American citizen, this guy, or was he someone who just became, American or, illegal alien that somehow got to work for the government? Conservative men tend to not like the bob cuts. I insist my wife not go shorter than shoulder length. Yeah. FBI agents found classified intelligence reports in his lunchbox and basement. Wow. U.S. Attorney Pam Bondi said the search was conducted at the Pentagon's request. He also said the Trump administration will not tolerate any leaks of classified material. The past week, at the request of the Justice Department of War, FBI executed search warrants at the home of the WAPO reporter who was obtaining and reporting on classified, illegally leaked information from a Pentagon contractor. The commie internet keeps going, chosen wannabe, maybe. I have a convertible. I had mine short so I could drive topless without hair clips, but it grows 8 inches a year. Okay. Trump administration will not tolerate illegal leaks. Yes. So there's that. And I don't know. I tried to delay as long as possible to see if any of the other, anything else was going to come in. I just don't see it happening tonight. So, and I waited to see if maybe Joe would rate us, but I guess he's decided to go long tonight. So I don't know what to do here. I guess, I don't know. I guess it is what it is tonight. That's fine. The first extra hour came in very clutch at the right time. But I hope everybody is happy with the show. And raid Joe and make him feel guilty. I think I will. My $200 vet bill bit my ass probably next month too. Hey, don't worry about it. Raid Sean and Gina at Third Ralify. We could do that on Rumble. Trumpinator for 5. Thank you, Trumpinator. Greatly appreciated. which that would bring us to $75 away from a second additional hour. Thank you. Thanks, Jim. This was so good. Good show. Yeah, maybe we'll rail them on. We'll raid them on Rumble. We'll raid through RailFun, Rumble. All right. There we go. So, well, thank everybody who's here. Please remember to hit the like and subscribe. Please come back tomorrow night. There will be a show tomorrow night, no matter what. Well, I appreciate it, Trumpinator. I appreciate it. Awesome. Thank you. I don't know if it'll be with Joe or if it'll be by myself. I don't know if he'll remember to send me the link or not. Well, we'll see what happens. I want to thank everybody who was here. Please remember to like and subscribe. And I'll see you all tomorrow. Come back for Jim to tell you the news.